Something like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media. And you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And I'm looking at stuff in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at somebody in the channel. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Y'all, look. Take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this. And it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what you want at the end of the day? Don't you want the world to be a better place? Of course you do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, we are back with another great show, y'all. We about to get started. Okay. We are going to be dealing with a very, very interesting subject. But I mean, that's what we do over here at the Roger Report Live, y'all. We deal with very interesting subjects on a regular basis. We do that over here, y'all. And we're going to get into it. And today, we're going to have a great show because we are going to be dealing with Big Girl Loving. She's a fat mama jamma. Okay, y'all? Now, before we go too far into this, let me take a moment out to say shout out to the people who give me views on a regular basis. Because, you know, y'all make up the fam, and I do appreciate y'all. Shout out to the people who leave comments out after the stream, because those definitely help with the algorithm. Okay? A lot of good things get said sometimes. Sometimes some foolishness is said, but a lot of good things get said. And shout out to the people who hype me up every chance they get. You know, I definitely appreciate that. Shout out to the people who hit that like button. Y'all know that like button needs to be hit. There's never a bad time to do it. No matter how long the stream has been up, make sure you get to that button. All right. And shout out to the people who go above and beyond the call of duty, who become financial contributors over here at the Roger Report Live, y'all. Okay, I appreciate the folks who become financial contributors at the Roger Report Live, and I do want to make sure we honor each and every financial contributor that comes over to the Roger Report Live, because I mean, you going above and beyond the call of duty, and I do appreciate it. You allow me to make a better show and do things that I wouldn't be able to do without you. So I appreciate it big time. Appreciate it big time. And on that note, I got to give a special shout out to Kid Chameleon for being the sponsor of today's stream. Shout out to Kid Chameleon for being the sponsor of today's stream, y'all. Over here at the Roger Report Live, all money on the wood is good. All money on the wood is good. And let me give shout out to some of the first people to check in this morning, because when you start a show off, it's always great to see you got a few people already in there raring to go. They trying to see it from the beginning. They they want to be a part of the crew, and I appreciate everybody who does that. So shout out to y'all. Know how I go. If you've been here a while, there can only be one. Shout out to the Highlander of today's stream. My main man, Trail Bentley, is in the house. Shout out to Trail Bentley. What's going on, my brother? What's going on? Representing as he always does. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag Hail Hydra. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. Glad to see you here. We got Elder Blood in the house representing all the time. All the time. Glad to see you here. My brother Brunk is in the building as well. Good to see you. Good to see you. We got the Pit Master. Shout out to him and the Pit crew. What's going on, my brother? What's going on? Glad to see you in the house. Glad to see you in the house. The one and only Chef Mike's Roundtable. We got Carl Thomas in the house. What's going on, Carl? Okay, I ain't really seen that name here before, but shout out to you. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being here. Shout out to Bucket is in the house. Great to see you. Great to see you. Landon is in the building. What's going on, Landon? Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Okay, we got Sarah B in the building. Great to see you. The Great Black Reset is here. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Patrick Saint has pulled up to the cool table, and so has Michael Watson. Glad to see y'all. Glad to see y'all here. And we also got Brooklyn's finest in the building, y'all. About to have a great show. We're gonna honor some folks, man. We gonna get into a great show today, y'all. We're gonna get into a great show today. And shout out to all these folks helping me get off to the good start, because I definitely appreciate that, y'all. I definitely appreciate that. We got looks like we got Brunk in the building, coming through with the first super chat of the day. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. He say, what do you have to tell us about Rasputia today? Hey, man. Hey. Me and Rasputia go way back, okay? Me and Rasputia go way back. We good. Don't talk about the homie. Don't talk about the homie. Me and Rasputia, we good, y'all. We don't want to get upset either now, y'all. We don't want, y'all should know we do not want to get Rasputia upset. So let's be careful how we use her name. Shout out to the Great Black Reset, who says, Roger, who requested whale watching today? You know what, brother? You know what? You got to get it all out there, brother. That's all I can say. You got to get it all out there, man. That's how you have a great show. You gotta get it all out there. You can't just do the stuff that you like doing and the stuff that you got to get it all out there, man. That's how you make good things happen. You got to get it all out there. And we gonna get some great stuff out there today. Now, I wanna give a shout out to a very, very, very special sister, y'all. Okay. I don't know if you heard the news or not, but we recently had a passing, okay, of a great woman, y'all. We had a passing of a great woman. A woman who would definitely be viewed who should be viewed as a great woman of the Black community, y'all. A great woman of the Black community has recently passed. I put 2 links in the description. You know, an awesome lady who did awesome things while she was here and while she was amongst us, y'all. Okay. And, some white folks talked about it, and that's cool. I'm glad they did. You know, they put out there, you know, on the news show, which is a good thing. Black men got into a little more. I think he covered it a little bit better. But I want to say shout out to both parties because they honored a great woman. Okay, y'all. 67 years of marriage, y'all. Shout out to Dr. Gladys West, y'all. Shout out to Dr. Gladys West, the woman whose mathematical genius helped create GPS. Okay. Now, realistically, who ain't using GPSs today? You basically ain't driving nowhere if you ain't using GPSs, okay? Shout out to, I mean, especially some of you younger folk. You younger folk, some of y'all don't know what nothing is. You don't know what nothing is. uh, you couldn't even go back home without the GPS, okay? Now, I do encourage folks to learn a little something. But a lot of y'all, we drop y'all in a certain place. Man, don't ever actually get kidnapped for real. Somebody just simply drop you off somewhere. You don't even know how to get home. Because a lot of folks we attach to that GPS in a real way. We attach to that GPS in a real way. But shout out to a great Black woman who lived a life, you know, made it to 95 years old. And guess what, y'all? She showed that you can have a career. Not only can you have a career, you can have a career where you accomplish amazing things that change the world as we know it. And you still can be married to a Black man and be a great wife. Okay? Now, I know a lot of folks, they gonna hype up Gladys West, and I'm not saying they shouldn't. They gonna talk about what she was able to do in the mathematics field and how she was able to create GPS that we use so broadly today. Shout out to her for that, but let's not forget that she still was married. Met a gentleman by the name of Ira. Only 2 Black folks working there. They met at work, y'all. They met at work. Now, this also shows she was surrounded by a bunch of white people. But what did she do? She got a great Black man, and she was married for 67 years, y'all. Now, that's how you do the job. The career didn't stop her from being married to a Black man. Okay? Didn't stop her. The mathematical genius didn't stop her from being married to a Black man. Okay? When she got certain things that a lot of people won't have access to, it didn't stop her from being married to a Black man. So y'all, don't let these women tell you they can't do it. Don't let them run this story about how I can't get my career right and be married to a Black man at the same. No. Some folks make excuses. Gladys West makes it happen. Okay, there's other women making excuses, but Gladys West was making it happen. So there's a whole lot to celebrate the great life that she lived. We can celebrate her intelligence. We can celebrate her overcoming certain things from a racial dynamic. We can actually celebrate her genius, and we can still celebrate the fact that she was a fantastic wife for 67 years. And that's a beautiful thing. Shout out to Dr. Gladys West, I should say. Okay, shout out to Dr. Gladys West. Now, shout out to the Great Black Reset. He says, Roger. Oh, I read this one. Roger, who requested? We're watching. Hey, man. We're not going to be at the ocean today, y'all. Okay, we're not dealing in the ocean today. Shout out to the Great Black Reset who said this is going to be one whale of a Wednesday, y'all. He said this is going to be one whale of a Wednesday. Well, I'm a rock with that one. It's going to be a whale of a Wednesday, but because you're watching and enjoying the Roger Report Live. What other way could it be? And shout out to the Great Black Reset again. He said celebrating Hippo Hump Day. Now, y'all, that's him. Okay, yeah, I want y'all to know this ain't got nothing to do with Roger. He say celebrating Hippo Hump Day. That's all him. I did not tell him to say that. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I am not behind that. No kind of shape, way, or form. Okay? I ain't behind that one in no kind of shape, way, or form. All right? Now, getting into the subject of the day after, but I had to make mention of Dr. Gladys West, y'all. 67 years, y'all. 67. When last time you was around somebody who was married for 67 years? That's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. And she had a career. And she wasn't held back. She was a genius, too. She still made it work with a black man. I'm just saying. All right? Now, let's look at this, y'all. Today we giving a shout out to the big girls, okay? We giving a shout out to the big girls because what I want is for us to have an honest conversation about black men's view of big girls. Now, of course, I put some links in the description as of course I covered, a couple of links with Dr. Gladys West so people could have a real idea of who she is as a person. And then I put 2 other clips in there, y'all. 2 women. Now, one says she's a nurse practitioner. She is currently in the medical field. I looked at the video to say, how much time is showing on this particular video? How much time is showing on this particular video? Says 6 months. So as we put that in the link today, it says 6 months. Just want that to be known. Okay, just want that to be known. Now we in March of 2026, and that's it. It was put up 6 months ago. Shout out to Brooklyn's finest, and thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it. He says BBW. Big Beautiful Wednesday. Now, I say I don't believe in coincidence, y'all. I really don't believe in coincidence, but he say Big Beautiful Wednesday. I did not even think about the BBW part, y'all. I didn't think about that part, okay? But I hope everybody has a wonderful and special, memorable, Big Beautiful Wednesday. I want everybody to have one. Real talk. I want everybody to have a Big Beautiful Wednesday today. Shout out to Brooklyn's finest. And you talking about you slick, Rod. I don't know, brother. Like you slicker than me right now. Look like you slicker than me. I can't tell nothing to you, brother. What I'm gonna tell to a can of oil, brother? What am I gonna tell to a can of oil, my brother? What I'm gonna tell you? Okay, on this Big Beautiful Wednesday, what I'm gonna tell you? But y'all, shout out to this sister, y'all. Shout out to this sister who had the courage as a nurse practitioner to get out here and say, hey, ladies, what? Hey, yeah, you, my black sisters, my black queens, okay? Hey, I'm rocking with you. I'm one of y'all. And guess what? As a black woman, I want y'all to stop buying into the hype. I want y'all to stop buying into the nonsense. I want y'all to get real with yourselves. I want y'all to get real with yourselves. And I want us to take some things seriously. Now, I got to give a credit for getting out there and saying that because amongst black women, you get on the internet and say something they don't like. Ooh. A lot of them going to be after you. They going to have something to tell you. They definitely going to have something to tell you. And that's real talk. Okay? Now, this is the thing. And shout out to the Great Black Reset. He said, whole lot of ham holiday. Whole lot of ham. Well, I don't know what they're going to celebrate today, but I mean, any day is a good day to celebrate. Any day is a good day to celebrate, if you ask me, okay? Now, y'all, again, y'all, I got to say shout out to the sister who actually got out there to give a word that is going to go against what a lot of black women gonna want to hear. Okay. Now, she did it from a health perspective. And I understand people will even argue with you from a health perspective. All right. Now, you don't have to be healthy. You can just die early. All right. Because that will happen with people. You know, there's choices you make in life. You can be healthier or you can just die a little earlier. It's up to you. Okay, it's up to you. Now, women and beauty are very serious things. I've said it before myself. A woman being beautiful is like a man's ability to earn money. All right. Which is why, if you haven't picked up on it yet, that's why I do not like men coming on my panel and taking shots at how women look. Why? Because I understand their beauty is important to them, and it affects them in a way that we as men don't necessarily have to think about. Okay? We don't necessarily have to think about it, but their beauty is far more significant to them because they're women. And their beauty is part of how they manipulate the world to get stuff that they want. Okay? Now, shout out to all my hoes to monetize. He said, Roger, talk about the way you talk about a way to get your subs up. No, brother, I ain't doing this. I am not doing this to quote unquote get my sub. I mean, every show technically is to get the subs up. And if you're new here, heck, go ahead, sub to the channel while you're here, because you done found the greatest show on social media. Okay, you done found the greatest show on social media. So no, I don't quote unquote do a show to get my subs. Every show is to get my subs up. We want people to sub on every particular show. But no, we're gonna do the content that needs to be done. And we ain't gonna play funny and do certain content just to kind of bring in some subs automatic. No, it doesn't. We don't do that over here. Okay, we don't do that over here. What we're going to do is the shows that need to be done. Now, again, shout out to this woman who came out there to say what she said, to black women, because, black women have some obesity rates that they have been kind of in denial about. Okay. They fight brothers on it, but I understand the importance of a woman being beautiful. All right. We as men, we understand the importance of a woman being beautiful. Now, when people come up, because I'm going to let people come up, but when people come up, if you are cool with big girls, that's fine to let that be known. I ain't telling nobody who they supposed to be with. If you are cool with big girls, that's absolutely fine. Okay? But we are going to talk about things from a health perspective, and also not so much as a health perspective, because I think a lot of people, they talk about things from a health perspective because they don't want to offend women. And I understand that. A lot of people just don't want to offend women. All right. Now, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, this ain't about whether they get offended or not. This is about what's going to work and what ain't going to work. Okay? What's going to work and what's not going to work. All right. Now, I did some surveys myself just to see how men view bigger women. I came across a couple brothers. I think it was like 2 brothers who said that they good with big girls. Okay? Now, I ain't going to tell nobody he can't be with a big girl, but I'm going to also be realistic about it. If you're going to be with a big girl, more than likely, a man's going to get with a woman when she's smaller. Hopefully they get married. They're going to have some children over time. And depending upon how many children she has, she might pick up a little bit of weight here and there that'll kind of stay with her as she has different children. Okay? So she'll kind of get bigger while having his babies. Now, let's be realistic about this. When a woman gets bigger having a particular man's babies, it's not the same thing as a guy that she just met off the street. Okay? When your wife has your children, you look at that woman in a very special way. And I think that's wonderful of black men. Okay. A lot of people don't give us credit for what we do, but we can give ourselves some credit for sometimes if ain't nobody gonna say what you do, it's okay to pat yourself on the back a little bit. Black men are pretty good because we actually stick with our women, even if they get a little big over time when they have our kids. Now I know, there's a reputation for white America that if you eat one cheeseburger too many, that white man gonna snap. Okay. I know that's a thing about their reputation, but that's not one of ours. That's not one of ours. And there's also women who like to push this idea that being thick is the same as being fat. They'll take somebody like a Sherry Shepherd, or they'll take somebody like a Gabourey Sidibe, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. And they'll say these women are thick. No, they're not. They're not. Now, I put a link in there. It was a black woman that was albino. Okay. But she thick, though. Okay. I happened to catch that one last night, y'all. So if you don't understand what thick is, I put a link in there so you can see a thick woman. All right. Just is what it is. All right. That's a thick woman. All right. You can have a nice behind. You also can have some nice titties, or nice breasts, I should say. And you can be thick. Okay. It's that simple at the end of the day. It's that simple. All right. You can be thick, and thick is wonderful. Okay. Black men like bigger women, I would say more than other men based on what we can tell from a societal standpoint. So is there anything wrong with a woman being thick? No, ain't nothing wrong with a woman being thick. But women do get upset when men talk about, women being fat. Now, let's think about this. Why do women get upset if you bring up fat women? Now, shout out to all my people who listen outside of America. Shout out to all my people who do that. Okay. Let's be, love and appreciate y'all. Love and appreciate y'all. But if you are here in America, there's a lot of freedoms we have that we just don't have in other places in the world. Well, if you were a citizen of another place in the world, you wouldn't necessarily have some of the freedoms that people have in America. Okay. But it is a choice at the end of the day. It's a choice. All right. And I'll tell y'all why I'm doing this. A woman asked me to. Okay. A woman asked me to deal with this subject. I told y'all time and time again, I love black women. Okay. So, hey, I deal with stuff even they want me to deal with. But I do not want to paint an unrealistic picture for black women. Okay. There are some guys out there that we would consider chubby chasers. I'm not saying anything's wrong with being a chubby chaser. If that's how you get down, that's how you get down. Okay. That's up to you. You're a grown man. You can mess with what you like. Okay. You can mess with what you like. There's nothing wrong with that at the end of the day. Now, there is a thing about women, of course, getting upset with men when they start talking about weight. Now, the thing is it something to get upset about? I mean, you can get upset about anything, but is it something to get upset about? Realistically, no. Because if you live in America, you can do what you want to do. Now, I understand that, again, y'all, a woman's level of beauty is like is like a man's ability to earn money. Okay. Some of us we're gifted in certain ways. Some of us are not. Some of us can go pro. We can go to the NBA. We can go to the NFL and all that great stuff. Some of us, we get a certain skill. We find out we have excellent skills in a certain area. Some folks go into engineering. You got special skills when it comes to math. So, hey, you may even become a rocket scientist. Whatever it is that you do, there's different things that people do to earn money. Now, as men, do we look at women and think about their beauty being like our ability to earn money? I don't think we really do. Okay, I do think it's something we should be conscious of. Okay, but I don't think the vast majority looks at it that way. Now, we'll look at a woman and say, and we acknowledge she looks good. I'm not going to say we don't do that. We will acknowledge a woman looks good. Okay, but we don't really think about them looking a certain way. And then that's going to affect a lot of how they're going to operate in the world, because women get a lot of things based on their attractiveness. You know, you got to think about it. Even when let's say a woman goes to a job, she has a job interview. All right. Realistically speaking, if she looks good, and I know women, and I've covered this before, where women said that they said they're oppressed. They presented it as oppression. That if she happens to look good, then realistically speaking, she will have more job opportunities because she happens to be attractive. Now, women talked about that as if that's somehow oppressive to them. So you telling me if you wear the right dress or you wear the right outfit and you looking good in your outfit, then a person who has power to hire you will give you a job because you came in looking nice? Somehow that's oppression. Well, that's how it is with black women. They actually say stuff like this. Okay? It's oppression. Now, being on the outside looking in, to me, that looks like an advantage. If you can dress a certain way or wear the nice outfit or whatever, and then just get a job and get picked above other people, which, y'all, there has been some science that has been, some things that have been checked out from a scientific standpoint that says if you're more attractive, you will actually have more opportunities in life. So that is a science-based thing as well. People have checked in that from a scientific level. You can have a better life the more attractive you are. Doesn't guarantee anything. It just says the opportunity is there. Okay, the opportunity is there. Now, what you do with your opportunity, that's on you, because everybody ain't going to do the best with their opportunity. All right. Now, the thing is, a lot of black women will be offended just because you bring up fatness. And we as men, we may laugh about it. We may joke about it. Maybe we feel some type of way about it. Or maybe we don't really consider them at all. Because again, y'all, a woman's beauty is like a man's ability to earn money. We don't think about it from that perspective. If she looks good, she can possibly get a husband that makes a little bit more money than somebody else can. Now, this means it can affect her lifestyle. See, we're just not thinking about it from that perspective. It can affect their lifestyle. I mean, if you fine, you got a nice body on you, can you get a rich man? It's possible. A rich man may talk to you one day. And because you simply look good and got a nice body on you, you may live in a whole different class as an adult that you used to live in as a child. See, when you think about it from that perspective, you can kind of see what I'm saying. A woman's level of attractiveness has a whole lot to do with what she can and can't get with when it comes to life. It's going to have a major effect on her life. And they can't do what men can do. Because men, they can be fat. The women like fat guys. It's just certain women that just specifically like fat guys. And then if a man gets fat, he can just earn some money and he's fine. Not so much for women. Okay. Now, I do hear guys, which I believe they jokingly talk about, if she big, it's okay. Now, some people may mean that. Some people may actually mean that. I'm not saying you can't. You can do what you want as a man, you know. But the reality is, it's hard for a woman to get a man to be interested in her if she big. I mean, shout out to Gabourey Sidibe. Y'all know she's married, right? Okay, and she done even left the black community because she married her a white man. All right, she married her a white man. Okay, and for a lot of black women, that's fantastic. They love it. They truly appreciate the fact that she is now married to some white man because, again, at the end of the day, if you marry a white man to the average black woman, you're quote unquote better. She had a white man validate her beauty. All right. That's what happened. She had a white man validate her beauty. I'm pretty sure she's proud of her husband. You know, I don't really watch her in interviews like that, but I'm pretty sure she's proud of her husband. I don't know why she wouldn't be proud of her husband. You know, now when she got married, something that happens to a lot of sisters, well, in the course of conversation, you know, some people have brought up the fact that when it comes down to it, she was kind of slumming because she got with a guy that didn't quite have the money she has, because she's been able to become a movie star. Okay. Well, I don't know if you consider her a star or not, but we know she has a decent career in the movies. And when you have a decent career in the movies, you don't necessarily have to have starring roles, but she has had starring roles. Okay. That Precious movie was a big breakout for her. I don't necessarily remember her before that Precious movie, but she did have that movie, and it was kind of like a breakout thing for her. I know I've personally seen her in I can't think of the name of the movie, but there was a comedy with Eddie Murphy. I'm thinking it was a comedy starring Eddie Murphy that she was in. You know, she seems to be a fairly good actress as far as I can tell, even though I ain't really seen her in much stuff, but she seems to be a fairly good actress. And she got married to some white guy, but the white guy didn't have the money she has, but he's white. You know, now I know a lot of women will say, you know, a man got to do this and a man got to do that, and he got to have more money than me and all that type of stuff, which all that stuff gets suspended as long as you're white. And she kind of proved that, you know, I'll just say she's more proof of that, you know. Now, shout out to all my hosts. The monetize, he said, yes, I only hire fine women, slim and model. Okay, now shout out to all my hoes, the monetize. Now that is a very real thing, y'all. You can actually, you know what I'm saying, you can actually look that up. This is the thing out there about the more attractive you are, the more opportunities you can have. Okay. Shout out to Bruce on Wayne. He say, y'all dusty niggas fumbled Gabby. Now I'm gonna say this, y'all. I'm gonna say this. Let's be realistic about it. You didn't see black men upset. Not that black men even get upset when some black woman gets with a white man. Even though if you listen to black women, they'll always try to make you believe this. They'll swear men are just so upset that some black woman married some white guy. But it really didn't make any real news amongst black men because nobody really cared. Okay. Now I'm not saying that because she's not a cool person. Okay. I seen her in an interview or two. She seemed like she all right. Okay. I haven't seen her having like an attitude problem or anything like that. She just big. All right. She's just a big girl. That's all. But again, now she's in the realm of movies. You know, she'll probably make a lot of money over her lifetime. I mean, technically, she's already made a lot of money at this point, I'm sure, you know, especially after, you know, the critical acclaim she got for the movie Precious. You know what I'm saying? She probably taking home some decent checks when she gets a job. All right. But why do black women get so upset when people talk about Gabourey Sidibe? Now, y'all think about this. You have a discussion about Gabourey Sidibe, and I think her name comes up when you're talking about fat people because she's just like the kind of newest big fat chick that's kind of well known. Okay, I'm not saying people ain't having discussions about other fat women, but do you even know their names? Okay, Gabourey Sidibe, we kind of know her name. All right, and shout out to her for getting her name known. But see, the thing is, when you talk about fat women, they get upset. Yeah, and shout out to Mr. Me Too. He said Lizzo, yeah. And you know what? Shout out to Lizzo, because Lizzo, last I saw, Lizzo been putting a lot of work in about dropping weight. And amazingly, black women didn't cheer her on. They started getting mad at her for losing weight. Why are you getting mad at her for being healthier? That don't even make sense. But that's what they did. They got mad at her for being healthier. And Lizzo was a very big woman that was getting a lot of attention as well. She was one of those women getting some attention. I would say her name was up there with Gabourey Sidibe when fat women came up. Okay. And but a black woman bettering herself when it comes to weight. A lot of other black women get upset about that. Now, I'm going to say this, y'all. When you look at the overall community, I'm talking about the two different groups, y'all. I'm talking about black men who are respectable, productive, functional, that believe in black men's leadership. And I'm also talking about people who are, and this mainly them, dysfunctional, anti-family, single mother community. I think a lot of the people who kind of got mad because Lizzo was losing weight, I think they are the dysfunctional people. That's real talk. That single mother community, I think they got mad at her for losing weight. Now I'm sitting there like, that girl been big ever since she been famous. Why would you take shots at her for losing weight? Now she made it out there. I mean, she kind of made it clear she kind of wanted a white man. She definitely had an eye on Chris Evans. She kind of made that plain while he out there playing Captain America. She had an eye for Chris Evans. She kind of put something out there. You know what I'm saying? She took a little risk, kind of a mild version of shooting your shot through the media. It didn't really take for Chris Evans. And then, people was a little salty. But my thing is, why Chris Evans got to mess with somebody he don't want to mess with? Now, I'm not saying he messed with her just because she's fat. Now, that could very well be his case. I have yet to know about some woman that Chris Evans dealt with that was a big girl. So maybe he just don't like big girls. Ain't that okay? Is it not okay for a white man to not run at some big girl just because she put something in the media? Is that not okay? Yeah, I mean, think about it, y'all. And as black men, if just for us discussing something about black women being big, people throw salt on us. They get mad, they get upset, as if it got something to do with us. But again, y'all, it's like a man's ability to work. They know they run into problems by being big. A lot of the anger that black women show because we start talking about some women being big, the anger gets high because they don't have a workaround. Okay? At least not for most guys. Now, there are some men who will say, if she big and she got some money, I'll work with her. Now, I do believe when the men say that, I think they be joking. Okay? I think for the most part, they be joking. But there's a few men who will say, you know what, if she got some money and she big, I'll work with her. Now, should that make women feel better? I mean, I don't know what to tell y'all now. But if the man say, if you big, I'll still take you. You just got to have some money. Because in general, men don't really worry about women's money like that. But if he say, I'll take you, but you just have to have some money. As a woman, should she really be upset about something like that? Women put so many stipulations on what a guy has to have. So if a guy say, well, I'll mess with you. You just got to have some money if you big. I don't even see that as a reason to be upset. But I get it. For them, it's different than us. Because how big a woman is, how beautiful she's considered, has a very huge impact on their life. Why do women work so much? Let's be realistic about this, y'all. Why do women work? Okay, black women got jobs. I'm not gonna say they don't have jobs. They do. I mean, of course, there's some that don't, but then we got the ones that do. Why do those black women work? At the end of the day, the reason a lot of black women work because they can't get a white man to marry them. Let's be real about that. So yeah, as we may crack some jokes about women here or there, they take it a different way because for them it's something else. You can playfully call them fat or whatever the case is, but for them, they know it's something else. For them, being fat, or even being ugly, that's a financial concern for them. For us, it's not really a financial concern. Because at the end of the day, if you're a big man, you're going to pay for yourself anyway. Shout out to Bronx. He said Big Pun had a lot of women. Yeah, Big Pun did. So did the Notorious B.I.G. So did 8-Ball. Okay? So did Heavy D. Being a man and being fat don't really hold you back. But see, as a woman, you gotta think about how it affects women. As a woman, now don't nobody want to touch you. You go into the wrong room, nobody wants to touch you. Okay? People don't want to be seen with you. There's countless of times that I've heard about some man who messed with some big girl, but he won't tell nobody. Okay? He won't tell nobody. Now, am I saying men shouldn't be able to quote unquote hide the fact that he's messing with a big chick? I'm saying realistically, that's on him. If he don't want to tell nobody he with the big girl, what am I supposed to say? He a grown man. If he don't want people to know he messing with the big girl, why is that a bad thing? See, and a lot of women, they get upset with me when they do stuff like that. Well, look, I hit it, but you can't tell nobody. You can't make it public. What's wrong with you? Are you ashamed of me? Well, I mean, he kind of is. All right. At the end of the day, he is. Now, the thing is, I don't blame the man for being with a big girl that he's ashamed of. I blame a woman for being with a man and the man is ashamed of her because that's her choice at the end of the day. Again, y'all, even when it comes to being fat, it's about choices. If you upset that some man don't want to claim you publicly, and if it's because you too big, it's two ways you can handle that. You can either not mess with that man, now it's not an issue, or you can lose some weight. It's either one. You got two options. You ain't got to mess with dude. Okay. And a lot of men, we crack a lot of jokes, and I'm about to get to you in a second, turn around. There's a lot of jokes cracked about some big girl that guys will mess with, 2, 3 a.m. They're going to go over to her house because she easy pickings at the end of the day. All right. Now, I've said before that I tried to mess with a big girl that just didn't work out for me. Okay. It didn't work out for me. But I've heard a lot of guys say that well, I ain't gonna say a lot of guys. No, I say I've heard a fair amount of men who say they will mess with a big girl. They just don't want it to be known. They don't want it public. They don't want to take no pictures with her. They don't want to claim her. They don't want their friends necessarily. Their closer friends could know, but it's like it's something you kind of keep on the low. But they don't want people really knowing that he is, he don't really want people knowing he associates with her. And why is that a problem? Should the man not be able to live in his preference? If he prefers that if he messes with a big woman, and he prefers not to tell anybody, is that a bad thing? That's the question. Is that a bad thing? Now, at the end of the day, it's a personal choice. So I'm not going to say it's a bad thing. But if it was my daughter, I would ask her, why are you messing with a dude that's ashamed of you? I don't think it's cool for you to get mad at him because he's ashamed of you. I think the problem is you messing with him knowing that he's ashamed of you. That's where the problem comes in to me. Because you can't control somebody else's feelings, but you can control your own. But I'm going to slow down right here and let these other guys get in because now I got two guests. So, Tunnel Runner, you got the mic. Right after you, we'll give it to Big Back Lead right after you. Go ahead, Tunnel Runner.
Roger. The last two places I've been, I was in Thailand and Colombia. And it was hard, very difficult to find a woman over 150 pounds. 100, you can hardly ever find any girl over 200 pounds, even mothers with 5 kids. It was super hard to find those women in those two countries. Because I think the women over there, they know what men prefer and they try to please their men. So I think it's a mindset that they are trying to please a man and they know that most men don't like big giant women. So I think it's what do you if a woman wants to please her man and she knows that men prefer women that are in shape, they would get in shape and stay in shape. And that thing about being embarrassed and stuff like that, well, if they really was embarrassed, I mean, the man's embarrassed of them, but if they were embarrassed, they might want to lose some weight so they could be seen with the man, so the man could be proud of what he, got on them. And everybody doesn't have to be, everybody's not fit, but they could just do a better job, a way better job if they appreciated it. And these are some our black people, our black women, African women that keep their weight down because they want a man.
Okay. Hey, I didn't hear no lies in there. I didn't hear no lies. All right. We're going to give it over to Big Back League. You got the mic, my brother. You have the mic.
Happy Wednesday, Roger. Wednesday to everybody.
I'm
Okay?
doing all right, but you need to speak a little bit clearer, brother. You need to speak a little bit clearer.
Yeah, all right. Continue. I'll come back.
Did he say he's going to come back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's fine. All right. Now, again, y'all, if you looked at the links in the description, there was a black woman who said some stuff about women's health. As a black man, do I really think about women's health? I'm gonna say realistically, no, it don't really come up. It don't really come up. I'm not saying there ain't a man out there that's gonna look at women and think about her health first. I am not saying that. To me, it's just how good she looked. And smaller women just got an advantage. It is what it is. Now I know the media been trying to paint this picture that they just gonna make black men be in the fat women. I don't think it's working because it's been going on for a good period of time now. It's been really something that's been pushed for decades that I've actually witnessed. I don't think it's working that way. Okay. I do see men who will say they like big girls, but I never see them with a big girl. I find that to be odd. Okay. Now, I think, well, I've said this before, y'all, and I'm going to say it again until I see different. I think a lot of black men are socialized to be afraid of women. They're very much socialized to be afraid of women. And I do think that's part of the reason why a lot of black men will say they like big girls. And I'm just saying, for a person who's heard black men say this, oh no, I like big girls, they cool. I hear men say stuff like that. You're having discussions about women. Somebody will bring up something about big girls, and guys will be like, "Oh no, big girls cool. It's all right." Especially if some women there, they be like, "No, big girls is fine. Ain't nothing wrong with it." Blah blah, and they'll say all this stuff. But I don't never see them with no big girl.
Hey, Roger, can I say this? I think I do see that black guys might like a big woman to date or to go out and hit. But when it comes to marriage, I don't see these guys, those same guys that say big women are all right. They ain't trying to marry no big woman. The only way
Well,
you're gonna stay with a big woman is she's gonna have a whole bunch of these children.
now again, I do recognize there's some women who pick up weight over time because they had that particular man's children, and we don't just discard our women because they got a little bigger. We don't do it like the white guys. The white guys, they got their reputation. We don't do it like them. I'm not saying that that's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying that's a real thing. I do not see black men discarding women just because they got a little bigger and she was having his kids. Now, the only thing I really see, you know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't gonna say the only thing I really see, but something I do see when men are asked about, do they like big girls, especially when women are present, they will claim that they do, but I don't see them with the big girls. And I'd be like, it's enough big girls out here. How come you don't? How come I'll never see you with one? You say you like them. How come? I mean, personally, again, y'all, I don't really believe in coincidence like that. Can some coincidence happen on a small level? Sure. Even today, it happened to be Wednesday, so somebody cracked a joke about BBW. Yeah, to me, that's like a coincidence. Something small. Okay, that's a coincidence. But if you say you like big girls, and I don't never see you with a big girl, I start questioning, do you really like big girls? That's just me. Now, again, whether you like them or not, whoever wants to come up can say whatever they want to say because, again, y'all, this is for a real discussion about how men think about big women like this. And if a woman wants to join, of course she can too, y'all. There's a link pin so you can join the conversation if you want. That's totally up to you. I do think women do get upset though that they don't have what I call the workaround. There are situations that if you have something that you can compensate in another area, you can get past something. You know, you may not be first choice, but you're so excellent in math, people will put up with your attitude. Okay, just is what it is. You know, people may not like you all that much, but you have so much experience in a certain area that you can just work around the fact that you're not that likable of a person. Okay, because you're the expert that's needed at the time. There's workarounds people have. I think black women get extremely upset with black men because when it comes to being fat, they do not have a workaround. Men have a workaround. We just work, get a job, get a little money. She good, you know what I'm saying? But women don't really have a workaround like that I can tell. Now, if men want to say something else, you are welcome to say something else. It is what it is. I ain't trying to direct how anybody sees anything. I want y'all to put the real out there if you're going to come up. We don't like false narratives over here. Okay? But let me give the mic to Jabba the Hutt. What y'all doing today? And after Jabba the Hutt, we'll give it to Mr. Me Too. Go ahead, Jabba the Hutt.
We got to represent for the big girls today, man, properly. We're gonna have adult conversation about this, and we're gonna put this thing out here, the real deal. That's not being said anywhere else. You're gonna get it right here on the Roger Report Live. There's two problems with when it comes to women being overweight. The first problem is the image problem, not her image, the image of the man that decides to be with her. You are damaging the image of that man. Most men will not tell you that. That's why they don't want to be seen with you. They don't want to be seen with you by his colleagues, his friends, his family, nobody, not even the general public, because it is an image problem to a man to be with a woman that's undisciplined. The second, the second problem with these women is that with these big women is a personal problem. The better you look, the better you're going to be treated in everything. You're going to get better job opportunities. You're going to get more raises. You're going to be treated better by strangers. You're going to be treated better even by your family. Nobody, not even your family members, want to see a fat woman coming their way. They just don't. Even in your marriage and your relationships, you're going to be treated better. When you're thin and you fine and you sexy and you good looking, I'm going to put up with a little bit more from you. You might get away with a little attitude. You might get away with spending a little money and this, that, and the other. When you overweight, you better not say nothing. I don't want to hear it from you. You're going to be treated differently, and you're going to be treated according to the weight that you are. That's the absolute 100% truth. You're going to get better results in every aspect of life as a woman, the less you weigh. And I'll land my plane there.
I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Mr. Me Too, you got the flow.
Hey, fellas. Morning. Yeah, man. Kind of the take away from like the physical, the visual aspect of big women. Man, I learned like dealing with big women. My ex-wife turned out to be a big woman. You know, we met in high school and all of that. By the time we was married, she was a big girl. But I learned dealing with her and one or two more after that you really can't protect them. You can't truly protect a big woman. Like if you can't physically move her, you can't physically direct her. There's no way you can really protect her. So it's almost like a man got to either, if say for instance you somehow fall in love with a big woman and some disastrous happen, you either gotta suffer and watch her go through it while you go and leave and save yourself, or you gotta, suffer and do, go through whatever it is with her. Either way, it's not a good thing. And that's all I really came up to say. Keep doing the good work, fellas.
I was gonna say that's a extremely powerful point. Short and sweet, but extremely powerful. If your woman is too big and something is actually happening, you can either leave her behind. Now, if this is your wife, how do you leave your wife behind because something is happening? That's gonna be agonizing enough. Or you literally got to sit there and die with her possibly. That's a heck of a decision to make. So I'm glad you brought that to the table. I'm definitely glad you brought that to the table. Salute to Mr. Me Too for that. That's a heck of a decision that you'll have to make if something bad were to happen. But Black Uru's coming up, so I'm gonna go ahead and give him the floor, and we'll give it to no placeholder right after him because it look like he's coming up. All right, you got it, Black Uru. Go right ahead.
I think I'm going to start my contribution. First of all, thanks for having me, Roger. I hope you, the gentlemen on the panel, folks in the public chat, are doing well. I guess I'll start, because I won't go too far into my opinion on the subject. I'll just ask a question. What was the point of presenting Dr. West in this part of what you're doing? Well, in the context of what you're presenting, I find that to be an interesting contrast, and I don't see the purpose of it. So if you can elaborate on that, I would appreciate that.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. I just figured since I'm doing the show today, I had the link in from the woman who's the nurse practitioner. Okay. I did have a link, you know what I'm saying, that I put the link in there also about the what a thick girl looks like, because I'm saying this is a thick girl, the one that was albino. Because a lot of people they confuse on what thick is. I just say, you know what, this would be a great time to honor Dr. West, because I've said before that I'm gonna try to make sure I put more and more clips in where all these great things that black men do, and I'm gonna try to kind of put them in there. So since today's show was about women, I say this is a great time to show another great wife of the black community, which was Dr. West, a beautiful woman who accomplished a lot, but showed she can be married the whole time, 67 years of marriage. Hey, it's all women today. That's all it really is. So she has nothing to do with this story. She's just another example of being a great wife to the black community. That's what that was about. She ain't really about the subject matter. Just honoring her. That's all.
Okay. All right. No, and I think she's very much, deserving of that kind of honor. You mentioned that she'd been married for 67 years, so she and her husband, who was also a mathematician, obviously lived long, productive, prosperous lives together. So yeah, I mean, she definitely. And he died I think she died earlier this year. I guess it was in January, and he died in 2024. So both of them, I guess, lived well into their 90s, and and like I said, were together almost 70 years. So wonderful thing. We'll appreciate her contribution to the development of, I guess, the global positioning system, commonly referred to as GPS, and contribution to science and mathematics overall. She should be studied. I was inspired by what you presented. I did a little reading on her. Very interesting woman. Very inspiring person, and hopefully some of you all read a little bit more on her and what she did. Regarding the weight issue, well, I'll let no placeholder go, and then I'll maybe double back on that.
You go ahead, Black. Make your point about the weight. I mean, fine, the weight. That was intended to be a rhyme, but
I mean, there's so many different, because I have a lot of criticisms about Black culture as it applies to our food consumption, and obviously the problem is bigger quote pun intended, I guess, amongst Black women. But Black men and Black women, we do need to focus a little bit more on what we consume, and both in terms of the type of foods we consume and the quantities of food. And I think because of our testosterone, our greater skeletal structure, just bigger muscularity, or we make more efficient use of what we consume as men, particularly as Black men. So our deficiencies in nutrition are a bit more covered up than theirs are, because they're not designed to make use of food the way we do. We're designed for power, for speed, for greater power, greater speed, greater agility. So we're going to make better use of food than they are. And I think while we blame them for their obesity, I think as a culture, we should look more circumspect as to what all of us do. Because when I attend family events, because I'm very judicious about, I'm cutting out every fat. I haven't had skin from a chicken in the better part of 20 years, for example. And I wince, and I can't remember the last time I've had fried chicken, for example. But I'll be somewhere, Black men, Black women, and they're loading down on fried chicken. So eating, all the terrible oils. You're eating the skin from the chicken. You're not making good use of that. It's just terrible combinations, and we frequently eat and enjoy these things. And again, maybe because we don't see it as acutely as it appears on the women. Well, we all, to some degree, participate in that. And I think we all need to be of better examples for all of us as families, as a community, much more circumspect about what we eat, because I think it's a broader family and community issue. The women just get the worst of it because, frankly, their bodies are not designed to do what our bodies are designed to do.
Thank you, Baku. What's going on, Roger?
All right. How you doing? I'm finna say you want to get in behind that no placeholder?
Yes, indeed. I'm going to jump in right now. So yeah, hope you guys are doing well. So regarding this issue, this happened in my family with my sister. We're Jamaican. So we're living in New York. She's about like she was starting high school and other things. And my dad and I would cuss her and call her a glutton. My dad would get very upset. He got very upset. My mom too. Stop calling your sister a glutton, because she would be eating things like McDonald's, and I tell her that you cannot eat these things because because it just does not work for you. You're a female. We have Jamaican food in the house, cooked food, real food. Eat the real food. But they would refuse to eat the cooked food. So this whole idea of them, like in Jamaica, the women are slim and they look nice. You know what I'm saying? So this whole idea, obviously when you get older, it becomes a different thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so like yeah, I think it's more like a lack of discipline than it is genetics, in my opinion. Because well, I wouldn't say they have the capability to be disciplined, because some of these women, they actually get big because they're studying for degrees. They're working so much. They're going to and from work, and have eating habits that correspond with that. So they have the discipline to get the things done that they want to get done. But I think what happens is that they just don't see men as basically entities that deserve anything. So it's like, oh, I gotta pee. So no matter how big I am, one of these useless whatever is gonna come and tap it anyway. So why do I need to basically keep my exterior of a certain quality? Is that? But anyway, I'll end there.
I would say I think there is something to that. A lot of black women accept, this is my honest belief. They get to the point that they accept that they're not going to get a white guy. Their metabolism changed, and they just don't care. Because if I'm not going to get a white guy, why stay in good shape? No, and I mean that sincerely, because I don't see women who seem to have a problem, keeping the weight together if they're with a white guy. But if you've already accepted you're not going to get one, just kind of let yourself go. That's what I believe is actually happening. Because Haas House has made points before about how black women have had a lot of control of what we eat as a group of black people, because mothers used to cook for their husband and children on a regular basis. It was a normal thing that women would cook for a husband and the family. And I think over time, it's just don't care no more. Now I've said myself that I started doing stuff about my health simply because I just had to come to a realization. I don't want to be the old fat guy. That's it. There's personal problems that you can start developing because you're big, or you could just simply be dead. You might not make it that long if you just be a fat person. But we in America, all this stuff is controllable. And I do think that for women, yeah, it's a much bigger thing, because it does have a lot more to do with their lifestyle. Their beauty is like us working. It has a lot to do with the lifestyle they're going to get to live just off how they look. And when you allow yourself to be obese as a woman, you take so many opportunities from yourself, because not only may you may not get this particular job that you could have got if you just looked a little better. You won't necessarily get this husband that you could have got if you just looked a little better. But my thing is, why do they get so upset when men talk about it when they literally can just do something about it? And even with this woman here who said, well, no, I'm a nurse practitioner. This is what I deal with on a regular basis. We do see a lot of women who really kind of they'll throw salt on you for saying something about their weight. It doesn't make a difference if you're trying to be positive to them or anything like that. They just attack people anyway. Now, I do think that has turned into a huge cultural problem that Black women get mad for discussing weight. I forgot to look for it, but y'all remember I did a show once where who was that annoying politician lady? She was on one of these new Oprah shows. I can't think of her name right now. She was trying to be like governor or something. I mean, was she trying to be mayor in Atlanta? Was that was it Stacey Abrams? Well, she sat there on TV and said that, she said something about what Black women are fat because of well, I don't want to mess up her statement, but she said something that was just so illogical why Black women are fat that it's crazy. So it's like you have learned people making a bunch of excuses for Black women being big unnecessarily when all they got to do is just be a normal person and just look out for your weight. That's all you got to do. We all got to do it at some point. We young, we get a good metabolism, and someday it's gonna change on you. And if you don't do nothing about it, you're probably gonna die early. But they'll
Well,
fight us over it.
You know, I'm going to be somewhat of a thorn in this conversation because I mean, for example, you presented the albino young woman who looks obviously very attractive in the video that you present. I'm very doubtful she'll be that attractive 10 years from now. Maybe not even 5 years from now. I saw a lot of girls like her coming up. Man, I mean, was the shit, in the early 20s, mid 20s, and was shit by, 7, 8, 10 years later. Mm-hmm. And we have this culture where what we prize in Black women like that, it don't hold up long term. It don't. And the things that made that figure that naturally we're going to lust after, the things that made that figure are going to turn that into a very different figure within the next 10 years. And we don't have an overall community lifestyle to prevent the inevitability of that. Because I am a little older, I saw women, my mother, God rest her soul, even my aunts or whatever, they never got that big, but they never ate as much as that, and, we weren't tolerant of fat people. And when I say we, I mean men and women. We weren't tolerant of this. When I remember when they would see a fat child, and it would be an uproar about, you got to stop feeding that child so much. I didn't know a lot of fat children when I was growing up. I see fat kids all over the place now. I didn't know a lot of fat children. That was a alarmist situation culturally. I mean, so I think we all kind of contribute to it a little bit. And the food is shit. We have the worst food amongst any of it. Certainly, we probably have the worst food on earth. Period. Whether if you compare it to the rest of the first world or industrialized world, Europe certainly and Japan are much more cautious about what you're allowed to feed and sell human beings over there than we are here. And even in the third world, you're much more likely to be eating something that's organically grown that you yourself have grown and picked and cultivated. So we have the worst food on earth. We have the worst food on earth, and we have the worst habits on earth. And although black women are getting the very worst of it, and I think part of it is their own choices, but I also think part of it is biological or specific, or there's some things in excess that they have an excess effect. I mean, I think it's easier for example, I think it's easier for an Asian woman to stay swim than a black woman, because I don't think they have the same mix of metabolic activity inside. So, if we're going to talk about this issue, I mean, it's good to blame them. It's good to blame their habits. They definitely eat too much. They definitely consume too much sugar, consume way too much fat. My wife does pretty well, but I talk to my daughters quite a bit. And I talk to my daughter's husband. Watch her, because my older daughter, she was kind of like the albino girl. So you gotta watch out for what she's eating. And this is kind of a back and forth. Like, hey, now, you got a husband, you got to hold on to him. So I don't know. Maybe I'm rambling, but I think it's a broader cultural thing that I think to some degree we all have to take some responsibility. I guess that's my primary thesis.
Okay.
I want to follow up on that when you get done, Roger. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. And I'm gonna follow up on some. I'm gonna make a quick statement. It's two after you, and then we're gonna get the floor to Jay Moore, because he then came up. Shout out to Landon. He said squats, daily running, and more plant-based diet. Yes, these are excellent things that people should pick up on if you're trying to get yourself together. Now, me as a person who's gotten older, I just accepted a real life thing. If I don't start eating better, I'm gonna be dead. To me, that's just real life. So I'm a personal. My personal belief is excuses don't matter. That's my personal belief. Excuses don't matter, because you can just have all the excuses in the world and you dead. Well, how is that gonna get you up? It's not. So I mean, play it how you want to play it, but I've said many times before, I'm just doing stuff different now because I just don't want to be the old fat guy. It's that simple at the end of the day. Can't nobody protect me from that but me. But I do think it should be a bigger thing for women, because so much of their life is about what they look like. And they use what they look like all the time to get certain things done. My bad for being a little long-winded here. Go ahead, Great Black Reset. Say what you need to say, and then I'm going to skip what I was going to say and let Jay Moore get in.
Okay, listen. I'm glad you said there are no excuses. Black women are all of a sudden this protected class, this victim class that they have now. They're victims of everything, and we're making excuses for them to be victims of everything. They're fat because of this. They're fat because they want white men and they can't get them. They fat because the food is bad. So what? So what? You choose how much exercise you get you're partaking in, regardless of how much you eat. If you sit your ass down there and eat more calories than you burning off, it's your fault. It's your fault. And this video that Roger has of the albino chick showing you this is the thick chick, that's a lie. The Roger is lying to you. Men have been lying to you for 30 years. That's one hamburger away from being fat. You're either in shape or you're not. This thick shit got to go. She's overweight. Don't matter whether you like looking at it or not. She's overweight. One child and she's 30 pounds overweight. One hamburger, she's 5-10 pounds overweight. It's a lie. These men are lying to you. You're either in shape or you're not. Take your ass to the gym. All these excuses about, oh, well, the food here in America is bad, or the black American diet has been bad since slavery. So fucking what? It's fish out there. It's all kind of green vegetables out there. It's all kind of everything. If you fat, just get used to it. If you overweight, get used to it. When you get tired of it, take your fat ass to the gym. I'm gonna land my plane there.
All right, shout out to you for that. But she thick though.
That's a lie.
Shout out to Jones. Well, I mean, no one ever said thick was healthy. That was never said amongst any man. Okay.
Well, but again, it creates a cycle that leads to the inevitability of the 50+% obese Black women.
Yes.
And to some degree, we contribute to it. We do. We do.
She can't get
because
like that without eating more than she should.
Let's be real. We look at that and we instantly go into lust mode, and they feel that energy. Now let's recall the famous Jet Beauty. You never saw Jet Beauties that were that overly voluptuous. You know, they would be shapely. They might be a little bustly, but you didn't just see ass. You know, it wasn't just so audacious. That's a fairly new phenomenon, and hip hop contributed to that. I'm gonna put some of that on hip hop. Hip hop definitely contributed to that. But
we got. I know we gonna get Jay Moore in here. I just want to say this real quick.
I got like 3-4 guys got to get in.
Go ahead, I'm gonna get him in here.
Go.
Women, I'm gonna tell you. Listen, we telling the truth on the Roger Report Live today. Anytime a man tells you that you're thick, it's an excuse for you to be fat.
Now, see, now I think you're going a little far with it.
Roger lying to you today. Let's go.
That because women who are thick could get their behinds in the gym too. A lot of them.
He told
that
lie right there.
I'm saying they'll be fat. They'll be thick, and then their metabolism change, and they don't do anything, and then they just end up being a big girl. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't respond when they're metabolism. That's how I picked up it. I just didn't respond when my metabolism changed.
But Roger, it's about lifestyle choices, and the lifestyle she lived to get to be thick. You know, now you're expecting her to change that lifestyle. You expect her to change that dietary intake, all for some notion now that she's supposed to be more responsible than she's been the last 20, 25, 30 years. And you've contributed to everything along the way up to that point by glorifying it right up until the point in which it don't look that good anymore. I mean, that's a part of what happens there.
All right, I'm gonna say shout out to Joe's. He says calories cost. There's ways to pay, and guess how he spent way. Shout out to you, Joe. Shout out to you for that. I see what you're doing there, brother. I see what you're doing. So now I got to get. Let's see. Jay Moore got to get in. We got Jado that came up. That's Tunnel Runner, but Tunnel Runner got a word in already. But we got to get Usual Business up too. So we got 3 guys that got to get in. So these 3 guys get in. Jay Moore starting with you. Jado come in right behind. Don't let these other guys get the mic. Come in right behind them. Usual Business come in right behind Jado.
Pause.
Okay.
All right, Paul.
You know.
Go ahead, Jay Moore.
What I was gonna say is this: the way how I solve all this issue with weight problem with any chick, I always told them this with all my exes and stuff, and what made them start running like 3 miles or getting back in shape or staying in shape and stuff. I told her this is like, hey, either you skinny enough for me to pick up or keep up, or you're fucked. And I'm telling you, you're gonna burn this fat one way or the other, because God forbid if we get stuck in a burning house, either you coming with me, or I'm carrying you, or you're gonna be gasoline to the fire there. I'm not helping you. I already got a herniated disc, lifting up, rucksacks and all that shit, doing all this stuff in the military. I'm not getting, and that stuff hurts. I'm not dealing with your fat ass, coming around here and think I'm about to suffer through you. Like, no, either you gonna be skinny enough for me to pick up or keep up, or you're fucked. That's the only way you're gonna be living. And my ex, a couple of them said, they laughed, they look in my face, and they say I was dead serious. And guess what my ex was doing? Running up hills and shit. She knew I was dead serious. She was gonna die if she didn't stay skinny.
That's a grown man right there. That's a grown man right there.
Shout out to Jay Moore for using like 98 curse words in less than a minute. Thank you, brother. Okay, let's calm down a little bit. Let's calm down. Jado, go ahead, brother.
Microphone checker 1 2 1 2. Can y'all hear me?
Mike, you sound clear, bro.
Okay. Hey, what's up, fellas? Everybody on the panel, chat, replay gang. I said, man, I got a couple ways to go with this, but I asked this a few times on the panel, Roger. Like, when we talking about preserving Black culture, man, I try to ask brothers what exactly they mean by that, and I still haven't got a clear answer, man. And that's not a knock on anybody, because there's a complicated question. But man, like I said a while back, like I don't honor, or I don't value big butts anymore, man. And I used to value them. I'm a red-blooded Black American man. You know what I'm saying? I don't value it at all. You know what I'm saying? I look at it, I don't know, man. When I was dating, I dated several Japanese women, man. And one thing I noticed, man, because I'm an active guy, whenever I wanted to do an activity, some type of exercise, they were down for it all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I think some part of the culture, the Black American culture, is like, you know what I'm saying? I get it. Like, man, it's hot outside. Or, I ain't walking that damn far to go over here. I ain't doing all that. And I think I think Black women, you kind of hit it. I think we've all contributed to it, and especially the women. I used to be in charge of physical fitness a lot of times when I was in the military, man. And I used to get a bit of joy to working people out, especially the women folk, especially the Black woman folk. You know what I'm saying? Because I know they were averse to that, man. I don't know if our society has just gotten too. I think we've gotten real like soft, and it's too much comfort, man. I think, man, because we don't like just doing gardening, hiking, going somewhere when the temperature is a little hot. You know what I'm saying? Black women they have an aversion to that, man. Anyway, man, I got my thoughts are kind of jumbled up, man. I guess I'm gonna stop right there. I'll come back in whenever I can. Bro. Thanks for having me up.
All right, use the business. Get on in there.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Right now,
You got to speak up. We see you, but you got to speak up a little bit.
All right, my bad. Right now, you see me hiking in the woods out here in Georgia, bro. I'm hiking, listening to Roger, working out, bro. I do this at least 4 times a week, bro. 4 times out of the week, you gonna see me in the woods hiking with my AR-15, putting rounds on target, bro. So at the end of the day, I don't have no excuse for no Black woman. I don't care, bro. At the end of the day, Black women either will meet the limit or they gonna go sadly at the way to the dodo bird. It stinks. It is what it is. So how I really look at this, this is the ultimate version of survival. And she don't want to do the work to survive, then she won't be here. It is what it is. We gotta stop making excuses for Black women, bro. It's either you want the best for them or you gonna go ahead and suffer with them. I'm not gonna suffer with them. So she gotta be able to meet the limit, or she don't. It is what it is.
There you go. No excuses on the second half of this panel. I like it.
Okay, well, that's everybody in. We can let it flow freely. I do think what y'all are saying are some good points. And now I'm gonna say realistically, no, I do like thick women. I do, but at the end of the day, I like small women too. So, as long as there's enough, I'm fine with it. But
I'm not mad at no man for liking what he likes. You like what you like. If you like fat women, you like fat women. If you like in shape women, you like in shape women. But don't be calling them something they not. You either in shape or you not. There ain't no in between. Like you can look at a woman one day and be like, so you got a little extra a couple pounds on you, and the day before that you didn't feel like that. When you give them these cute little names and all this other kind of stuff, you're giving them excuses to accept being fat because we have been socialized to like big women. Just like J-Lo was saying, he used to like women with big butts. Why? Because we've been socialized to like fat women so that we can make them feel better. Nah, this is today. They fat.
But I'm gonna say, even though you're far more adamant than I am, at the end of the day, man, I was messing with a chick, and she just started getting a little too big. I just told her. I didn't see what the big whoop was. You know what I'm saying? I just told her. Now you're getting a little too big for. It is what it is. Just I just can't be as interested as I was.
How long were you with it?
I mean, I was probably dabbling with her a good, I'm gonna say, year to maybe year and a half at that point when I said something to her. But after that, we didn't really rock too much because she didn't really do nothing about it. I just stopped calling.
Did you frequently eat together, either in your respective residences or dine out?
I mean, we didn't overly eat together. We didn't overly eat together. And when I first met her, she was a person that was like in the gym. She was extremely shapely when I first met her. She just got to a point that she clearly wasn't doing anything about it anymore. So when it was just too much of a change, and I said something.
I'm kind of confused. So this wasn't somebody you were really seriously involved with, then, right?
I ain't gonna say I wasn't super seriously involved, but I did mess with her because she looked good. She was a very shapely woman. And then, as time went on, she kind of dropped the ball on that type of stuff.
Roger, how far away from fat was she, bro? I think that's the.
No, I mean, to me,
how far away from?
To me, she was getting. Yeah, I'm saying to me, she was definitely getting fat.
Reason I'm asking.
Go ahead.
The only reason I'm asking this question, because I'm going to continue to say that black men have to be a part of the solution here, and I know you guys, some of you guys aren't going to appreciate that, but I do think we bear some responsibility here, and because the reason why I'm asking you, did y'all eat together? Hell, if y'all ate together, you saw her eating the chicken fat and the steak fat, You saw her eating the white bread, You saw her loading up on the sugar or the syrup on the pancakes, or eating 2 more sausages or strips of bacon than you really think a woman should be eating. You saw all that. If y'all were going out together, if she had that much of a change dramatically in her appearance in just a year, you had to see her eating all that shit.
No, right? I'm gonna say you right. I'm gonna say you right because it ain't like we ain't never ate together. So I'm gonna say you are absolutely right. Yeah. And at the end of the day,
or were you just so transfixed by how fine she was, you just didn't care until you weren't fine no more?
No, the issue was how I met her. She stopped looking like that. That was the problem. She stopped looking like the chick I ran into.
Basically, the answer to my question is yes.
It don't happen. It don't happen overnight, Rod. It ain't like she woke up and she was just fat, bro.
I'm not even denying anything. I'm saying, yeah, those type of things happen, and I still told her, "Hey, man, you either gonna have to lose the weight, or I'm gonna have to cut out."
Roger's real life illustrates
All
the
I'm saying,
point that I
all
made.
I'm saying is, all I'm
Go
saying
ahead.
is, on that first or second date when y'all, on that first or second date when y'all went out, you saw how she was eating. You saw how she was eating.
I
And what
agree, Roger.
direction you think that was gonna go in? What direction you think that was gonna go in?
I'm not gonna even say you wrong. I'm gonna say at the end of the day, I did my part because I spoke up. It's that
Listen,
simple to me.
When it was
I want
too
to
late.
say
When it
something
was
to
too late.
I want to say something. I want to say something to the ladies because this show is for a lady, and this show is for the ladies. I want to say something to the ladies right here. Roger's life illustrates the point that I made earlier. That video of the albino, she ain't thick, she fat. Here's the proof. Roger met
Hmm.
this chick. She looked something like this albino chick as far as her shapeliness. A few hamburgers later, Roger
Hmm.
wasn't feeling that no more. Even he himself
And,
spoke up and was like,
when Roger
ah.
took up, and when
Go
Roger
ahead.
took the albino, when Roger took the albino chick to Cheesecake Factory, or maybe if he was really spending money, Ruth Chris or something like that, and she knocked down a 20 and knocked down a 20-ounce prime rib steak, he didn't have no problem with that because she was fine.
Right, right.
Hey,
But see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
When a man, even when he's attracted to you, because obviously Roger was attracted
Hey,
to her. He has said he has only dated attractive women, so he found her to be attractive. But he thought she was
hey,
thick. Year and a half later, that thick
hey,
one thinking like it was before.
hey, I can immediately when I dated women from other countries, man, I can immediately tell that they've been dating other Black American, maybe some Africans too. I'll say I don't want to just say Black American men. I can immediately because they take up the language. They say thick too, and
Yep.
they have a I'm gonna say a boosted confidence when talking with me because they like, hey, he's black. This is what he's supposed to like. I know he like what I'm, and they're overweight quite a bit of times, man.
That's right.
I've observed this many times.
but
Listen.
I'm gonna say the thing is, black women do get far more leniency than other groups of women by black men because we will take the bigger women. So at the end of the day, because you still don't have an excuse, it don't make no difference at the end of it. It's still you. It's still your body. You're going to get treated a certain way because you're big or small. You can control that. You in America. You free. So I'm not gonna say a man don't contribute. I think Black Crew making a great point about how we as men do stuff. And did I go to Cheesecake Factory with that woman? Yes, I actually did. I literally have gone to the Cheesecake Factory with her. At the end of the day, I still said what I said. I meant what I meant. And when I saw that she wasn't responding to it, I cut it off. It's that simple at the
Yeah.
end of the day. He still don't got no excuse.
But
But here's the thing I noticed when I started being more uh, judicious about my own nutritional intake. It made me more observant of how what other people were eating, how other people ate, and in particular how the women around me ate. And so I'm just saying that to some degree, how we choose to manage ourselves can have a positive impact on how they manage themselves, or you put them in a position in which they pay a penalty. And it don't have to be so much after the fact where all of a sudden now she's gained 30 pounds and now we're arguing over that when maybe it's more proactive in terms of like Jado said, whenever he would go um, walking or to do something, athletic, the women, I guess the non-black women would immediately follow suit using him as an example. That's also an example of leadership. That's an example of leadership. It may be conscious or unconscious, but it was an example of him being a leader by taking the action. We were talking about leadership, what was it, the other day? By him taking the action or the lead to do that, and then her seeing that as him being the leader and following suit. So if you're making corrections, I think, to how you eat and how you manage your health and your nutrition, that woman should immediately begin to do the same. And if she's not, then you might want to consider other aspects of that relationship.
And Roger, you will see a couple that's the same size when they get married, and the husband and wife eat the same food, and the woman gets bigger and bigger. She tries to drink like a man and eat like a man, and she gets bigger and bigger because women shouldn't be eating and drinking like a man. They should be doing probably half of what we do. And when you have a woman that stays in shape, she does eat half the food that you eat most of the time, and she drinks much lesser than you. That's the way for them to keep in shape because
Yep.
when you go overseas, you will see that the biggest people, you don't have to hear them talk. The biggest people are the Americans. When we're in France or Germany and you see some big people, 200 something pounds, women and man, you know they're Americans before you even get to see their face.
Amen.
Because and that's known around the world. We're some of the biggest people on the planet.
Hey, real talk, we're referred to as the fat Americans. I don't know if people know that, but
Yeah,
that's how
yeah.
the world refers to us, as the fat Americans. You know, and y'all, yeah, I mean, there's a point about the food that we consume because as I've been checking into things, and I started finding out all this stuff that just ain't even allowed in other countries. We can have it here, but the government in other
No,
countries, like, you can't even bring that stuff over here like that.
that's that's not an excuse. We still
No,
have
no.
thin people here eating that stuff. It's not an
Well,
excuse.
hold on. I'm not saying this an excuse. What I'm saying is
Well, no,
we
it's
have
not. It's
access to
not
it,
an
but we also
excuse.
have access to choice.
It's not an excuse, but it is. If you have to push 20 pounds and I have to push 200 pounds, even though I'm responsible for pushing that 200 pounds, I still got a more difficult task than you have. It is much more difficult to eat healthy in the United States of America than it is in most of the rest of the world. It is much more expensive. The food choices are far fewer. Very often they require greater more prep time. So if you're working, you have to spend more time doing that. Now, yes, if you want to be healthy, yes, of course, you do what you have to do. And I do a lot of food prepping and I do a lot of stuff like that. And it takes time. And thankfully, because of my lifestyle, I'm able to do that. But if I were some blue collar brother, working 60 hours a week, I probably would be a lot fatter, probably because I wouldn't even have the time to do what would be necessary for me to eat healthy and enjoy what I'm eating. That's a real issue. That's a real issue.
It's very much a real issue, but I think as men we don't respond like women do. Like I say, it's more of an issue for them because they respond a certain way. Just bringing up a fat woman, they ready to fight, or they ready to slap somebody. I'll say that because they don't want nobody touching them. But they ready to slap somebody just because you bring up something about being fat. And then when women, like this woman did in the video, when women make content about doing better, there's a lot of pushback. Now, she may not get so much pushback because she's a nurse practitioner. I'm just saying when a normal person, not necessarily in the healthcare field, and they just say something about, hey, we need to do better with our weight. I see black women pushing back on these ideas. So for them culturally, there's something going on where they just want people to accept them as big, I mean, you had those campaigns talking about, love yourself and all this other stuff, and they was talking about fat women all the time. You need what was it, body acceptance or something? They've pushed these narratives for a good amount of time. But at the end of the day, if it affects you so much to be beautiful, why don't you just get beautiful? That's where I look at it. If it's having that much of a bearing on your life, why not just be as beautiful as you can be so life will be easy? Because I mean, especially in the social media world, women make there's a good amount of women who make a good amount of money just making videos of them in the gym. So we are literally creating situations where women are getting paid to be in shape. I ain't saying it ain't the men that do it too, but it ain't like how women are getting. Right now, if you're a woman, you can go to the gym and literally make money getting in shape. So I don't see why it's an issue for them when they can just choose to do better. And be rewarded for choosing to be better too. Being rewarded while choosing to do better.
Roger, you know the mistake you missing. They happy where they at. That's the thing I keep saying, man. When a person is happy where they at, they're not gonna change anything about it, man. If you a woman and quote unquote you can cheat on your husband, you getting paid alimony, you took his house, you got your kids. Why would you change that situation? You like the American system, the way it's set up. It's literally set up for you to win and to take everything from everybody else. Like we have to. We got to be more honest about what we dealing with, man. Black women have accepted their quote unquote their role in society, right? They want to be the fat, overweight, baby mama, 304s. They accept that. They cool with that. They like that. They enjoy that lifestyle. They promote that lifestyle. The question is, do you want to be a part of it? Yes or no? And if you choose no, then you gotta tell a black woman you gonna have to meet me over here, or I'm gonna have to leave you. The problem is we got too many folk making excuses for bad behavior, bro. We gonna say it's 1,000 years, this 1,000 years, that. Okay, all right, cool. But at the end of the day, bro, if an avalanche is happening or a flood is happening, you don't get out the way. Yeah.
Usually,
All
I
over the
get.
world. Go ahead.
No, I think usually I get the point you're making, brother. I don't agree wholeheartedly with it because it's kind of like, man, if you're telling kids at a certain school like they have low test scores or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They have low test scores, and instead of studying harder to raise those test scores, they just lower the threshold for the test. You know what I'm saying? So instead of a being a 90 to 100, it'll be a 83 to 100 or something like that, man. I think they're the biggest thing is they're lazy and they're lazy as hell, man. I think that's the biggest thing.
No. I know.
And don't want to do any hard work.
I know. I'm saying they are lazy, but that will be their downfall,
Yeah, for
regardless
sure.
of however y'all want to say they lazy. It's a
No,
mental
I agree.
issue. So forth and
I
so on,
agree.
whatever we got to put there to make it softer, right? But at the end of the day, if they don't do something, they're going to die. So at this
I
point,
agree.
it don't matter. It's like a pregnant woman. You got a baby in you, bitch. You got to push. Bitch, you got to push. It don't matter. I'm tired. I
100%.
don't feel like it. Oh my God, so what and so on. Bitch, you got to push. Either you gonna die, the baby, or you gonna die, or the baby gonna die together. You got to push, bitch. She got to push. Y'all making way too many excuses. Tell that bitch push. That's all I'm gonna say. Tell the bitch to push, bro. Goddamn, get up on that goddamn rack, squat up and down a couple times, bro. I live in
I agree.
Georgia, bro. I just came from working out in the woods, bro. She has no excuse.
Anybody for the big girl committee over here, Roger?
Well, no. I don't even want to make a show if it even come off as if somebody's making excuses for them. Because I'm not. I just showed what the lady said. It's her business. She into it. She's telling you black women got these issues. Black men have made it very clear that they do not prefer big women. So to me, a lot of black women are just being arrogant toward us. That's why I said they've accepted that they're not going to get a white man. So now they don't care. If you a nigga, you just take what you can get. This is what I'm offering you. You just take it. There's a certain amount of arrogance that comes with that. And at the end of the day, I'm not trying to look better for some woman, but then I'm a man. I got to work around. Men can always work, earn money, and they ain't got to worry about it like that. I'm choosing to be better because I come to the understanding and realization and the acceptance that if dudes don't take care of themselves, you die too. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is at the end. I don't want to be dead in the next 5-10 years. That's all. So no, I just do what I want to do. And that's all it is too. Why am I doing better stuff? Because I want to. They don't want to, but they want us to excuse the fact that they don't want to. And I'm saying that's problematic. And at the end of the day, I'm not gonna look at no man because of how big some woman is. Just like I just literally admitted, as Black who was talking about, yeah, I did take that girl to Cheesecake Factory one time. At least one time I took it to Cheesecake Factory. So did. And I still told her down the road, yeah, you're getting a little too big for me.
And when she only went once though.
And when she didn't respond, I stopped talking to her.
See, what Roger didn't recognize was she was a little too big from the beginning. He just wanted to knock it off a few times.
She was.
You know what I'm saying?
No. She was. I was 100% cool with what she looked like when I met her, and she was in
At
the
that
gym
point in
when I
time,
met her.
yes.
No, but see, listen. This the thick thing. It requires them to have a level of lifestyle that you can't sustain it. You can't sustain it. So we what we're doing is we are promoting it to them. We're using them up for the few years they're able to maintain it, and then it falls apart. Now she too big.
No. This is what I want to say. This is what I want to say. At the end of the day, I didn't promote it. I pulled up on her. She looked the way I like. So I hollered at her, and I just got it.
No,
you
promoted
That's
it when you
promoting it.
Hold on.
Get out of this talk, man.
My point is, she was what she was when I met her. When she got to a point where it was no longer comfortable for me, I addressed it. I gave her a chance to do something about it. She didn't do anything about it.
That 25 plus years before you got to her, she was knocking down those eight wing dinners and seafood boils and all. She was knocking them down, and that ass and them titties was all popping out because of that. But it's a short window. It's a very short window in the prime of her youth where it shows up like that.
And all I'm saying is, I'm not arguing what you're saying. What I'm saying is that's a personal problem. Because once it gets to a point where I don't want it, that's a you problem. It ain't a me problem.
You know, you sound, although it's a little more benign, you sound like those sisters who deal with drug dealers and the scammers.
Hey,
I don't care what you do. I don't care how you got the money. I wasn't involved with it. I don't care. All I care is he took me to the Bahamas.
Well, at least I ain't diming out to nobody. I can at least address it and say, "Hey, you're getting too big." I literally had a conversation with her. So,
Roger, we love you, Roger. We do, but you dead wrong today. You part of the problem today. I'm telling
I don't think so.
Hold on. Usual business. You part of the problem too, because you like the big booty Jews too.
Yeah.
You like them. You and Roger like the same thing.
All my big booties come from Tanzania.
I don't care if they come from Mars,
They get fed out there. They get fed out there too. They get fed out there too.
It doesn't matter where they come. We don't matter where they come from. We know you don't. We know you don't like American women, but you like fat ass African women. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
Never that. But I'm gonna simply say this much. At the end of the day, when any man you come into any relationship and we dealing with any individual woman, right? She does not personally care how you got the money, how you maintain the money, usually, bro. Right? That's a cultural factor. But at the end of the day, Hitler had plenty of women, right? Name your most evil politician. They got plenty of women, right? At the end of the day, you see what I'm saying, right? If I'm talking to a woman, I'm talking to a woman for marriage. It's her job to meet that standard. If she don't meet that standard, she don't get wife and she don't get protection, right? Same thing with a man. If you 5'2" or you like 4'5" or whatever, bro, you broke, you ain't got no money. I'm sorry, bro. Your life gonna be hard. It is what it is. So she gotta meet the standard. If she don't meet the standard, she fall below it, then her lot in life is her lot in life. For there to be a standard, there must be sacrifices. Like, I understand, even if I don't make it, I understand there has to be a standard, even if I don't make it.
I think them white boys, they don't play with the fat bitches, man. And they
at
tell
all.
bitches they getting fat real early.
Ooh.
They tell them real early in their dealings
Yes,
about they
sir.
eating and all that stuff. They tell them real early. They are very proactive in that regard. They don't just
Patriarchy.
Yeah,
let a bitch get fat on them.
And now,
we gonna
Roger,
we gonna get
one of
rid
the
of the
reasons
misnomers today. We gonna get rid of all this today.
why Colombian women are judged as some of the best looking women, they are trained by their mother to that this is a competition, that you're supposed to get
Exactly.
yourself to
Mm-hmm.
look good at a young age and stay looking good. Do what
Yes,
you got to
sir.
do to keep that man, and that just means that just the looks and the personality. Try to be sweet, try to
Hey,
be kind. So they are trained at a young age to keep themselves together, and even their 50-year-old, 60-year-old mothers be keeping themselves tight.
Mama and the daughter look fine.
Exactly.
Well,
So
to go back to the point I was making earlier, most men don't date obese women. Why? Because we don't promote it. We don't even want a woman to think that's attractive. We don't deal with it at all. And then most of the guys that do have sex with obese women, they do it in the dark when nobody see. They don't want to be seen in public with them. Why? Because they're not promoting it. So when you find these women that are on the cusp that we've been calling thick for 30 years, and you start dating these chicks and taking them out in public, you're promoting it. You're promoting it. And when she falls apart and you break up with her, you was part of the problem before you broke up
Mm,
with her.
no,
You supposed to
no,
tell her when you met her.
no. This is the thing.
you
Well,
There's not a problem with you being thick. You just can't be fat.
just can't be fat.
If
If you
you
can
if
maintain
you
it, that's
if
you.
you go past that threshold, you decided to do that. We are in America, man. Look, I told y'all before. My dad said you got to look at the world about how you can be dead wrong. If I didn't change the way I eat, because I was a junk food junkie my whole life, I
Me too.
can't eat that way because I ain't got older. It don't work no more. I can't eat that way. I'll mess around, go to the hospital, and some doctor be trying to tell me what I got to do. Well, if you don't do this, you're gonna be dead in 6 months. That's on me at the end of the day. I just like myself enough to do something about it.
Hey,
Black women got such an
guys,
issue with being fat.
But Jado asked the question about culture and what is black culture. And I think this is a problem with black culture. I don't think you can have a culture where the men are not part of the solution here. I don't think you can have a culture with just letting the woman just get fat and you not have some actual role in stopping this shit. I don't think you
Black
have a
Guru, the
culture there.
Asian women, Black Guru, the Asian women that are BBWs in Asia are athletic here, or maybe you think. But some of them, because we see some of them, there's some videos now with some of these Asian women that are BBWs in Asia, and black men look at them as being fake or athletic. They just don't even, it's like I say, it's not accepted. It's not accepted for you to just be sloppy. It's just, if you are, you need to be, you have to be a grandmother, but you cannot be on the market being the way some of these sisters look on the market over there in some of these countries. It's just unacceptable.
I'm gonna say shout out to Elder Blood. He say leaders don't get to tell women what to do. Rulers do. Now, I ain't consider myself no ruler. I just told the chick I was messing with, you got to lose weight for me to be interested. I just had an open, honest conversation about it. At the end of the day, she said, "Man, you've been kind of pulling away." I'm like, "Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. What's the problem? You getting too big. You letting
Hey,
yourself
hey,
go. You're not in the gym
hey,
no more."
hey, let me. Hey, the chick, the Japanese chick I dated for the longest while I was in Japan. I went with her to her parents' house, right? And by no stretch of the imagination, especially by black standards, was she fat at all. Just and she was regular, like yeah, man. I'll say she weighed about 135, 140
That's
or
fat in
whatever.
Japan.
Yeah, and that's my point. When I went to her parents'
Yeah,
house, and I only know a few words in Japanese, man. Her dad said something to her, and she started laughing a little bit. And I said, "What did he say?" He said, "My dad just told me I'm getting fat."
hmm yeah,
Yeah, I
And
mean that's
I,
serious
yeah,
business. That's the way it is.
and her dad is seeing you with a man getting fat.
yeah,
That's also what
yes,
he's seeing. He's like, you got this
yes,
man and you getting fat, girl. I mean, come on now. What you doing? You gonna f this up?
Well, I'm gonna say, well, part
So
of
when
black.
you talk about culture, that's their culture. Their culture is to put
exactly,
pressure on these women so they don't get fat.
I
exactly.
see it in
Well,
Colombia where the mother, the grandmother, the aunts, all of them jump on the girl. What's going on with you? What you doing? Get
Yeah,
yourself together. Get yourself not
yeah,
get yourself in shape because you need to lock this man down. I mean all the females are getting with him.
yeah.
And the father will be like, what's up to?
what this is.
Roger ain't gonna call her fat till she get about 195, but he better at 180. But she was thick.
You got to be
Yeah,
pretty tall to be thick at 180. You got to be pretty tall.
Hey, reset, reset. She was a
yeah.
half a dozen donuts away from. She was a half
Come
a dozen
on,
donuts
man.
away from losing that waistline.
Hey, you
Yeah,
know what?
exactly.
You know what? I'm not even tripping because at the end of the day, black men are the most lenient people when it comes to when it comes to putting on weight. So if you're getting too big for us, you really out of pocket. And it's that
That's
simple.
right.
We the most lenient people. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying the collective of black men, we are the most lenient people. And when men have women that they really love and appreciate, normally a wife, they will go out and work out with her and all kinds of stuff. So to me, there's just no excuse because it's such a big
I,
part of a
I,
woman's
I, would-
world.
I would say our leniency is the crux of the problem.
That's what I was gonna
Yep,
ask. That's
yep.
what I was gonna ask.
I used to be part of the problem, but I used to tell them they fat though. That's the difference. I was honest.
All right, well, hold on. Let me say this, and let me let this other brother get in because he done. We got an Ivy League in the building. I don't want to keep him waiting. My thing is this, man. They have developed a culture where they don't want to hear it and they don't want to acknowledge it. Every chick that I have any kind of love for, who done got big, I done told them to their face, Shorty, you need to lose some weight. You ain't gonna get no man like this. You're not gonna get what you want out here in the world because you just letting too much weight get on you. And the thing is, she has to want something different. I can't make her want something. I can tell her what the solution is, but I can't make her want the solution. So at the end of the day, to me, it's their problem to solve. We tell them what it is. They gotta want it though. We can't make them want it. But let me let this brother get in. We let's get a flow to big loving makes my rod disappear.
Oh man. Oh,
You have the flow, my brother. Big
oh.
loving makes my rod disappear. Has entered
Big
the building,
Lover.
y'all.
I like that name. Big Lover. That's a
So,
good name. Big
shout
Lover.
out to you, Roger. Shout out to the brothers on the panel. Shout out to the people in the chat. And and the meaning is kind of a double meaning because for the brothers who don't like big women, right? Your shit don't stay hard. And for the brothers that don't mind, a big woman could take a foot long down like it's nothing. So either way, they make it
That's
disappear. So, um, I wanna address this from an aspect that I didn't hear. Maybe somebody said it earlier, but I didn't hear recently. The role in a relationship or family formation of a man is a provider, protector, and so on and so forth. But the role of a woman is to be the family doctor. And the kitchen is how she makes or keeps the family healthy. And I would like to put into evidence is that childhood obesity, childhood diabetes, early onset heart failure, and stuff like that absolutely correlates with women's health because at the end of the day, we get our eating habits from our mothers, whether it's through what she cooks or not cooks while we're growing up, and also what she consumes and not consumes while she's breastfeeding. And so because because there's a saying, right? The poorer a community is, the fatter the women are, right? The poorer community is, the fatter the women are. And when you look at men who are successful, they tend to date women who are more lean, more petite, and men as a collective, as a whole, the poorer they are, you see that the bigger their women are. And so, because we grew up poor as a community, right? Our beauty standards tend to be leaning more towards fat women, and fat women produce genetically poor kids, right? And so, as we see childhood obesity and onset whatever, right? It has a lot to do with women's health because women are the first stopgap for chronic diseases. And so even though you as an individual do not entertain fat women or big women, do, doesn't exclude that as a collective, as a people, right? We do entertain big women, which in turns put the community health at risk. And then on top of that, you can't criticize black women. But I will submit into evidence is that uh, female health is a direct barometer for the community's health. And I'll pass the mic on that.
Man,
Real quick, quick question. I got a quick question.
Trying
Did
to
you
say
say
these hoes again, bro.
did you say you can't criticize the women? Is that what you said? I just want to make sure I heard that
Yeah,
before I
yeah,
say
yeah.
you see it.
Mainstream society, right? Black women you can't criticize in mainstream society.
Oh,
man,
okay. Yeah, I got you. Okay.
I want to
we
add
go
one
get
point. Let him go first, then I go after him.
all right, we gonna get back on Roger. Roger over here taking these chicks to Krispy Kreme as a first date, and then gonna talk about they got too fat later on. He don't took this chick to the cheesecake factory, and she don't knock down a 24-ounce ribeye, and he wondering later on like, well maybe yeah I pulled back because you getting a little too big. Roger, stop feeding these chicks. Stop it, man.
Uh, I'm
A
gonna
lot of
say one
hating
thing,
going
man.
on right now. A lot of hating going
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
but
a
I'm
lot,
glad
a
it's
lot of
quiet.
hate going on Roger's side, bro.
Let me say this. Hold
And
on.
for
Let me
once,
say
I
this.
think I may have to
Wait, wait,
defend
wait, wait.
Roger on this one,
Let
bro.
me let
But
me let
but
me
but
say
when
this.
it comes, no,
I want
no,
to.
no,
I just
hold on,
want
hold
to.
on. Come on, bro. I was supposed to go right after him, and then you went first.
I want to let my play here. And when we look at black men, right, because black men die earlier than any other race, that also is a predictor because of who our mothers is in the community. One of the reasons why we die earlier than other races and heart attacks and stuff like that, because the habits and eating habits that we develop from our parents at a very young age that shows up 2 to 3 or maybe even 4 decades later, right? So that also plays a significant role in our lifespan. And black men have the shortest lifespan of any other group of people in America.
All right. I want to interrupt.
Go ahead, usual.
All right, we got to stop lying about a few things, bro. Africa is home of the had the most poverty-stricken women on the planet, bro. They're also the most in shape women in the world. If you go to the Dominican Republic, not the Dominican, but if you go to Colombia, bro, the average Colombian woman lives in a wooden shack, bro, with a tin roof. They're also in shape. Go to the Philippines, extremely poor country. The average person lives off of $10 to $12 a day. The women there are in shape. That is not an excuse. The reality is black women have they want white men necessarily, right? And since you quote unquote are not the white man, right? They think you deserve less, right? And since you're the only person who is actually going to take them in their position, this is what you get. So black men have to be honest with themselves, bro. Like I don't know if I don't know if y'all like to listen to what is it, Z's channel, bro. We had this one clip where a black woman say, what's the phrase? You can't bring this shit over to white men. You gonna have to be better. Crystalline Karens that say this shit. You got Cynthia G say the same shit, right? They understand I can't give this shit to quote unquote these other group of men, but I can give it to you.
Hold on now. You getting out of pocket
Yeah,
now.
you out of control. You out of
Yeah.
control.
Hey. We do not mention other content creators who've not been on my channel. We don't mention them at all. Okay, let's rein
I'll
it back
say
in. I understand you got a little passionate.
I'll,
Let's rein it back in. That's a
I'll
general
say this.
rule.
I'll
Well, let
say
me.
this about the.
I
I'll say
address
this
that.
about the. Go ahead,
Can I?
bro.
Okay, the point I want to address is that look, I'm not talking about. We're talking about FBA in the black community. We're not talking globally. When you research and look at the statistics, poverty and
You said
obesity,
your excuse was poverty, bro. I brought you a woman
poverty,
who is in more poverty than the woman that you said. It don't hold. So it's not poverty, it's
Hey,
cultural
bro.
values and what they
Can
want,
I
bro.
finish? Can I finish? When you look up the information, poverty and obesity go hand in hand in America, right? When you look at poverty, you look at food deserts, right? In America, poverty is systemic with poor health and is also synonymous with structural obesity challenges in America. Now, when we talk about other countries, yes, but in America, the poorer you are, the more likely you are to be overweight and obese. There's tons of studies all over about that because the more
That
likely,
We changed the
can I
scenario, but it's okay though, bro. We changed the scenario, but it's okay.
more likely you are to be in food deserts, and food deserts
All I'm gonna ask you, was that originally what you said?
is one of the drivers that causes obesity in America.
That doesn't make sense. If you're impoverished, how can you afford more food?
Look, man. Like
You
there's
Like,
some.
like you know,
Look, hey,
one of the
They
things
making
there.
them
my
excuses,
mother,
bro.
one of the things my mother complained about almost to the day she died was the food. She complained about the food all the time. My mother was born and raised in the Mississippi Delta. She was a sharecropper. Grew up on the farm. They slaughtered hogs, the whole deal, like real food shit. Like none of this shit we're dealing with. And she
right.
always complained about the food. This ain't real food. She would say
It's
that this
not.
ain't real food. This don't taste like no sausage. This don't whatever. So you cannot separate the quality of food issue from the obesity issue in America.
Right.
And where money comes in is the access to higher quality food. You're gonna pay a premium for
Thank
good
you.
food in this country. I personally pay a premium.
Thank
My
you.
wife, we pay a good deal of money for better food. It's much more expensive at Whole Foods, for example, than it is at Walmart or Kroger's or wherever the hell you guys are.
Nutrient
That's a
dense
real
food.
issue.
But you said
Nutrients
you and your
Hey,
wife,
man.
which means she
nutrient
listens to
dense
your
food.
leadership.
Nutrients dense food is way more expensive than processed food. And because people living, like for example, people that live in the hood are 2 to 3 times further than from a supermarket than a person in the middle class area. So 90% of the food you eat are processed or ultra processed food. right? So when we're talking about obesity and we're talking about in the black community, we are talking about a couple of things. We are talking about lack of discipline, absolutely, but we are talking about structural racism here as well. We cannot ignore that.
Can I get my
Oh,
2 minutes in?
Yeah, yeah, let him go.
please
Dr.
do,
Hannah.
cause this nigga coming up with an excuse every 30 seconds.
All right, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
What
Peace
up,
to the
sir?
chat.
What up?
Peace to everybody in the in the
Hey,
in the
sir.
black
Peace.
manosphere. I'm gonna have to come in here with on this bullshit because y'all in here making all kinds of excuses. If she could, if she could buy a $5,000 Gucci bag, she could go to Trader Joe's. She could go to Whole
Come on,
Foods.
bro.
Okay, so all that nonsense y'all out here talking about, if they could buy Jordans for $250 off StockX, they can take their ass onto a good organic grocery store and eat. The problem is not y'all on the pant. Some of y'all might. I know. Black Reset will. Y'all gonna fuck these almost fat bitches. That chick in that albino chick in that video, yeah, she looked good, but she fat. She 3 hamburgers away from fat. She one red lobster pheasant plate away from fat, and that's the problem. Like, well, yo, the problem is we gonna fuck them. We gonna
Yep.
we look like everywhere you go, you see a black man in shape with an out of shape black woman.
Out of shape woman,
That's
bro.
true.
Hey, can
That's
I? I
And
wanted
I
to
land
speak
my
on.
You
plane right
talking to
there.
Roger?
Oh, my bad, my bad.
Just to
No.
confirm, you talking to Roger? Just to confirm.
Right.
and
Right.
Hey,
and I got a prime example because Uru said the albino chick, she look good now, but 10 years from now she gonna look horrible. Y'all seen what Pinky looks like right now?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That shit is
yeah,
Yeah.
disgusting.
yeah. They was just talking about how thick she was a few years back. She
No,
Mm-hmm.
no,
fat.
no, 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 no. There were two versions of Pinky, bro. There was the Pinky
Oh my.
before she became a
Okay,
porn
brother.
star, which was actually a fine woman, and then there was the Pinky after she let herself go and her daddy was in jail. Two different
Bro,
versions of that woman,
Bruh,
bro.
even when
it's
she
a
was a porn
transit,
star,
bro.
she
It's
was
a
fat.
transition, bro. It don't happen one day, bro. It ain't just one and then the other.
No, listen, this is what it is. We lie to them when they are teenagers. We tell them they thick when they getting fat, when the little shorts fit just right, kind of tight around their thighs, and we like to see their little ass. But we ain't telling them, hey, baby, your knees getting kind of big, your ankles swelling up. We don't tell them none of that. We tell them about how thick they is around their thighs and their buttocks, right? And then that's when the nigga like Roger be like, "Hey, let me take you to Roof Chris." You know, that's what happens, right?
I
You
just
know what
disagree.
I'm saying?
Why y'all?
I disagree.
She not she going not look.
Hey,
Here's the cultural
hey,
issue. Here's the cultural issue. See, back in the day, in the '80s and the early '90s, when we used to take a chick out, she used to be embarrassed to eat a lot. She used to be
Yeah, that's
embarrassed.
Yeah,
See, it
that's
was different.
that's
When
true.
you took a woman out, she was like, I don't eat all that. She cut her food in small bites. She wouldn't even eat the whole plate and she push it back. Now this chick is ordering a brontosaurus burger, knocking it down and want what you got left on your plate.
well,
They
see,
And
at the
taking
here's
they at
and
the
taking a doggy
seafood
bag
they
back
at the
well,
to
um
her kids, nigga.
here's the problem.
they are literally at the seafood
First of
spot
all,
buying a
here's the
garbage
problem.
bag full of
Right,
crab
you
legs.
gotta look at it. You gotta look at it a couple ways. So first of all, right,
Oh,
you
this
in
nigga
your
got three more excuses right now. Watch
Three
this.
more. Here you go. Here you go.
look,
Here you
look,
go.
look. It ain't fucking excuses, but I'm saying, man,
Oh,
look,
okay, okay.
there are reasons for it. Y'all just some ignorant motherfuckers. But
Nigga,
I
I'm in the
will
woods right now.
agree. I
I'm in the
will
literally,
agree
nigga.
with
I'm in the woods right now, working out as we speak with my gun, bro.
finish, motherfucker. I
Hey,
will
calm
agree
down,
with you.
motherfucker. Jesus Christ, bro.
I will agree with you that yes, one of the issues is that we sexually entertain them, and that makes it okay because back in the '90s, Holly Robinson Pete, right, was considered gorgeous. Today, she would be considered like a toothpick, but she was thin, she was
Hmm.
beautiful, she was great, and she
That's
was thin
true.
to this day at 60 years old, right? Holly Robinson Pete. But so I will agree with you.
Hmm.
The standard from like the early '90s to now is different, and one of the reasons how we participate in the movement of making it acceptable is because we sexually entertain them. I will agree with you on that because I have seen unusual business with like 12 workers. getting his dick sucked.
Hold on now.
Oh,
Hold on now. You ain't never seen me in no African continent with no fat bitch. You ain't never seen me in no African continent with no fat bitch. I rebuke that nigga in the name of Jesus, bro. In the name of Jesus, I rebuke that nigga, bro.
You messing with fat fufu.
Hold on, nigga. Hold on, not the fufu,
They
nigga. Fuck
not
you.
fat. They thick, man. They thick, bro. Chill.
That
these
fufu been
women,
extra pound, didn't it? Oh
this
bro.
nigga
I,
went to
They thick, bro. Chill.
this
Nah,
nigga
but
went to
the real
Uganda.
problem is us as a masses of black men, like we just have no standards when it comes to females.
yes, yes.
Period. Like that.
100%.
Why you think they call us the
Uganda.
garbage man of the dating community?
This
I
nigga
think it
went
was.
to Uganda and picked up women that you got raw in the goddamn wheelbarrow to
But
and
shit.
bang them for their land. That's how you got all that land in there. Bringing fat bitches for their land.
Nah, you said all that. Hey, I paid for that land. Though. I ain't gonna lie. I did fuck. I
Yeah,
did fuck
you
one chick
definitely
for some
paid
land
for
though.
the land.
I
So
ain't.
when you
Hey,
pay
but
for the
hold on.
land,
But she was still skinny though, nigga. What you
pay for
talking
the land.
about?
That's how you
She
pay
was
for it.
skinny.
no, 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 usual business. I don't see some unproportionate pictures you don't send over. You like, man, what about this? I'm like, man, them thighs, bro, that getting out of control. No,
Nah,
but man, she got an ass though, bro. We don't pay attention, bro. We looking at something as superficial as what a woman's ass look like, and we ain't looking at nothing attached to it.
I know. I
Yep.
do
We ain't looking at
stomach to
nothing
ass proportional,
attached
bro.
to it, bro. No,
Stomach to
bro.
thigh to ass proportional. It gotta be proportional, bro. That's my
Right,
standard though.
and also African women are not thin like that. When we talk about like normal thin women, you're talking Asian and Western Europeans,
Thin for
and
Africa. My bad.
and a little bit of South America because those bitches be fat too.
Ain't they half African though?
Well, look, I do think the African or black or whatever base body type, uh, um, uh, metabolic system, um, even if you can get into evolutionary whatever issues, that's a little bit dicey. But I do think there are some differences. I mean, I think it's been measured that black women tend to have higher testosterone levels, tend to have
Yeah,
greater bone density. So we make these comparisons with other women about weight, there should be some adjustment for that. Like, yeah, maybe it's okay for an Asian woman of comparable height to weigh 110, but
Yeah.
maybe a black woman should weigh like 130 or
30.
140, maybe.
See, y'all in here giving.
And they
130, 140.
basically
One
would
thirty, one
have
forty
to
is the normal
have.
height, the normal weight.
Right,
Come on.
guys.
I'm using numbers. I'm not quibbling over, because I'm not a nutritionist or a doctor, so I don't know. I'm just saying there should be some consideration for some difference. But going from the Asian being 120 and the sister being 220, that's a
I got
pretty obvious
Yeah, that's yeah,
difference.
yeah, that's different. That's different. That's
my,
Black,
different.
my whole
black.
fast, gentlemen, whole fast, because I got knocked out. Now I'm back, and I got two more guests who are backstage. So my apologies for having them wait. But we got Chef Mike's roundtable here, so I've got to let him get in. And I got Brunk who has come up, and I've swapped some people out. Yeah, I'm gonna be swapping out maybe just 5 minutes or so. Don't nobody panic. I'm not throwing you off the show. Everything's good. You might get swapped in and out for about 5 or so minutes. But Chef Mike, you got the floor, and we're gonna get Bronk in right behind.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to find yourselves on this big, beautiful Wednesday. Greetings, Roger, to you always, to the gentlemen on the panel. What's going on, fellas? I jumped up, and I'm not going to stay up long, but I jumped up because I'm hearing the conversation, and I'm a chef. So I'm going to come from the perspective of the food. Now, yes, folks in general have gotten a lot lazier than they were, a lot less active than they used to be years ago. That is true. It is also true that the food has been tainted probably for about 50, maybe even 60 years now. You don't have folks that raise gardens anymore, that grow their own food, that raise chickens, pick eggs anymore. You don't have folks that do that. So, one, to get quality ingredients, that is a tad bit more expensive. That's a given. Here's the problem. Most folks, men and women, when they get those higher quality ingredients, they actually don't know what to do with said ingredients. Most folks don't actually understand the science of food, and this is why we have a lot of problems that we have. Scientifically, like truly understanding the science of food squashes a whole lot of problems because you do things the proper way. I'll give you an example of something that is totally and always taken out of context. Fried
Good
foods,
job. Good job. Good
fried
job.
chicken,
Good job. Man, on my
fried
way. I got.
chicken.
All right. All right, Gucci Boots.
Wait, whoa, 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 whoa.
That's sound runner. He's talking to somebody in his background. He forgot to mute
Oh,
up.
okay. Oh, okay. So, fried chicken. All right. Now, let me tell you what's happening scientifically. You have protein that is full of moisture. All right. And you dip that in fat that is at a high enough temperature. The oil that you're cooking in needs to be at least 360 degrees. Let me tell you what you're not going to get in your home fryer. You're not going to get oil that hot because it's a fire hazard. And I can't have everybody on the panel in the same apartment complex. Everybody got a fryer, and because somebody don't know how to fry properly, the whole building burns down. That's an insurance thing. This is why the product doesn't give you the output that you would need to actually eat the food healthily. But if you get your fat up high enough, what happens? All of that moisture, i.e., water that is in the chicken or the protein, the the oil, the high oil is trying to actually penetrate, but the water in the protein creates steam, and that steam creates a barrier between the meat and the oil. And it's not frying, it's actually steaming. And when you take the fried food out and you let it drain properly, you do not ingest as much grease as folks would like you to think. Deep fat frying in the right fat is actually a very healthy way to eat. I'm not talking about plant oils, these soybean oils, nothing like that. I'm talking frying in stuff like we used to, in lard, in beef tallow, in healthy fats. That's what makes fat food or fried foods healthy. And it's not unhealthy. It's the way we do it. It's the process. Nobody wants to take the time to do anything. To eat healthy takes time. You cannot microwave healthy food. You actually have to get in the kitchen, cook, take time, and actually
Hey,
process
chef,
this food in a way that's healthy. This is one of the biggest factors
chef.
in why we have obesity rampant the way we do, along with other entities and other issues that you all have mentioned. I just wanted to mention the food aspect. I'm gonna land my plane right there.
Chef, I have an 84-year-old aunt that's still frying bacon and chicken. Lord. So as you're talking, I'm thinking like, yeah, Auntie still,
Okay.
she basically does what you're describing. And like my wife, her grandmother, almost to 100, she was frying shit. It was amazing.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
telling you. I
yeah,
looked at
yeah.
my wife's great aunt down here in the Caribbean. This woman passed at 107 years old. And up to the day she died, she still led a herd of sheep up the mountain to their feeding ground and back down to the pasture. I'm
Well,
trying to tell you.
I just want to say real quick, shout out to J Dub and Mr. Suge, to you, our other members of the pit crew. One of y'all should have took Chef Soup because he came over here and went way up past that 2-minute opening statement. You know what I'm saying? I'm just pointing that out. He just blew right past the 2-minute opening statement. I'm just saying. And just because he a chef and he dropped some knowledge that the rest of us on the panel couldn't really give you in that way, does not mean he should just be getting away with this stuff, y'all. Y'all, when y'all see stuff like that happen, y'all can pull some soup too now. Come on, y'all, the pit crew, get on it. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm just
Nah,
messing with you.
nah,
Cool,
that's
Chef
right.
Mike. I mean, real
Now,
talk.
Chef
I
was
wasn't going.
providing professional. Chef was providing professional information.
Exactly,
Professional
which is why I
knowledge.
wouldn't stop him. That's literally why I wouldn't stop him. So I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm definitely not going to stop somebody who's in the middle of what of. Yeah, I mean that's an expert analysis, y'all. That's something they pay people a bunch of money to come to shows and do. And Chef Mike just hooked me up. So thank you, Chef. Appreciate you big time. Real talk for that. Appreciate you big time.
I've sat on panels where I actually had to defend this because you have doctors that will mislead people and tell them that fried foods are bad for you. No, it's the technique, idiot. Most folks don't understand the technique, the science of food. That's all.
Well, I'm just gonna say, y'all, look, over here at the Roger Report Live, you never know what you're gonna get. You can get experts in the field talking about a particular subject on any random day. Welcome to the best show on social media. Make sure you subscribe. We do this every day. Well, Monday through Fridays, 9 a.m. Chicago time. Not where you may happen to be, 9 a.m. Chicago time. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content. And again, y'all, a serious conversation about women and being fat. Okay? Because I'm gonna say this. Yeah, black men may support chicks getting fat. At the end of the day, if you're fat, that's your fault. Because I mean, Black Rule made a very eloquent point about me, as an example, just an example. But his point was something I did take that chick to Cheesecake Factory before. I know I had. Okay. At the end of the day, she still got so big that I didn't want to be with her. Do I feel bad about it even in retrospect to this point? No, because I told her what the problem was. She didn't respond to what I told her, so I had to leave her where she was. That's simple at the end of the day. So even if I don't understand what's going on, I just know the result I'm getting, and I'm going to respond to that result. It's that simple at the end of the day. Nobody gets an excuse. All right. Now, y'all mentioned something about us dealing with them sexually. I mean, I don't know if you remove sex from the table. I don't necessarily know that black women are going to respond if you're a black man removing sex from the table. Because if they don't value you like that, who cares if you remove yours from the table? To me, that this is where black men, we have an ego issue because, like I've said
Well,
before,
I should always.
no.
I think
Let
at
me just
some
say
point.
one quick. Let me
I
just
mean,
say
I
one
think
quick.
at some point.
Let me just finish with just one quick thing. I think black men, we say things like black women don't want to get married because we got too much of ego to say they don't want to get married to us. Which I don't even see that as a slight to us. They just nuts. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them just nuts. Just see what it is. They goofy in the head. It has nothing to do with black men. But go ahead, brother. Say what you were about to say.
Well, I mean, I think you maybe you underestimate, why uh, sexual, sex is validation to women, or sexual desire is validation to women. And while you might not be their first choice, there's a difference between not being a woman's first choice and her not having any choices at all.
Mm.
And if there's ever a serial number of black men who stop, I mean, there's a reason why you see so many and witness so many of them complaining about black men who are increasing numbers of black men who are dealing with non-black women. There's a reason for that, and that's a drop off in validation to them. That's a drop off in the acknowledgement of the importance of their presence. So if you do have some material number of black men who stop desiring them sexually, it's gonna have effect over time. It's definitely gonna show up over time. There's no way it's not going to if a quarter or more brothers stop dealing with them, that it's not gonna have an impact.
Uru, that's not going to
and
happen.
and
That is not
and
happening.
and we act like sex is just other things come along with sex, with having sex with these chicks, man. They get other stuff. They get bonus stuff from us. Like, I mean, I'm sure
Well,
unless you're like going,
even from sex,
Mhm.
even from sex, they're not just getting a dick.
Yeah,
They're
that's
getting your arms around them. They're getting the
Quality
kissing.
time.
They're
yes,
getting the rubbing and the body heat and all of that. In fact, women will often, to get those things, they will have sex with you to get
yes,
those other things.
yes. You done told them a joke,
You
they
know, so
laughed at something,
yeah,
like
y'all
any of that
kick back
stuff. They're
after
getting
the sex,
bonus.
watching TV. You know, whether you're in either y'all apartments or in some
You,
hotel room or whatever, maybe you DoorDash some shit,
you,
you know, after y'all
eh,
just got through getting down. All of that is a part of the
you,
package.
you
Yeah,
done had sex with her and you said, "Hey, baby, I think you need to start working out." You know, you done gave her some advice. You know, you done
yeah,
did all types of stuff.
yeah. You know, I mean, and you say, hey, I'm at such and such every such and such, gym. Why don't you come by? Or what? I've been trying to work through some stuff with my diet that my doctor said, I need to do X, Y, Z, and I'm doing this at the organic whatever place. Hey, maybe you should stop by there every now and then, or maybe we can go there. One particular day or something like that. I mean, that's all a part, I would presume, of your
Can I
dealings with a woman. It's not just you putting your dick in her, but I could be wrong. Maybe that's how y'all getting
No,
down.
you didn't.
can I ask the fellas on the panel this question? If you can get pussy anytime you want, being the worst man that you could possibly, lazy, they ain't have to work, don't have to do nothing, would you not prefer that?
It's easier, certainly.
Right. So that's
I ain't
just
got to
like
do nothing.
so
I
Let me
like
don't.
ask that
Uru and
question one
Jado.
more
I'm.
time.
I'm trying to see the connection, but we'll continue.
Yeah, well,
No,
let me
so
ask the
like
question one
Uru
more
and
time.
Jado was saying. Wait, say it again, Roger. My
Can you
fault.
repeat the question real quick, please?
If you could get pussy being the worst version of yourself, wouldn't guys prefer that? Wouldn't guys just take that? But no, you have to work out. You got to make money. You got to do all kinds of things to impress these women. They can be literally fat, ugly, and mean, and you're still going to chase them. You're still going to call them on the phone and talk for 2 hours. You're still going to approach them for their phone number. You're still going to tell them they look nice in the morning, hitting them with the Grand Rising Queen Texas.
Now,
Black men are the reason black women are fat.
uh, now,
Ain't no poverty, ain't no government, ain't no white supremacy. Y'all niggas is just thirsty and y'all ran by your ball sacks. Point blank.
now, I'm
Listen, man.
I'm gonna say fundamentally, I'm gonna leave the second part alone for a moment. I'm gonna go back to that first part. I actually do believe if you have nothing, you can have black women. I don't believe black women generally have standards at all. They do not require you to have a job. They don't require you to have a home, house, mansion, apartment, studio, whatever you want to say. They don't require anything. So why do so many black men work? It's clearly not because of what black women want. It's because of what we see ourselves as. Because if I did what I think black women want me to do, I wouldn't do anything.
But you gotta live somewhere, Roger. You gotta have somewhere to take her. You gotta take her on into a subway
No,
date
you
like you
don't,
be
because
doing.
it's a
You got,
it's a bunch of niggas with no jobs getting in their car, taking them on dates with their money, so they can pay at the table as if it's his money. I see this all the time. So no, I
copy.
don't. I don't honestly believe. My fundamental belief is black women require nothing.
And black men are the
Hey,
same. Y'all
I
always
don't
be
know.
getting on black women all the time. Bro, we are the same. We sensitive. We don't want to hear no criticism, and we will have sex with anything because we don't have no standards.
Step,
I don't know
step
if
out,
anybody brought
Sam's.
up this point because I just kind of been listening in the background all morning. I've been busy all morning, but uh, uh when you really think about just reality in and of itself and the system that we're in, how is it that black men can even afford? I mean, as a whole, generally, how can black men even afford to date bigger women? The average black man only makes about $54,000 a year. Okay, so just looking at it from a purely economical perspective, bigger women are at higher risk of coming down with things like diabetes. If you have children with these women, now your children are at risk from having hereditary diabetes. What does that look like practically? If the average black man only makes about $54,000 a year.
You see, you asking some old astronomical crazy question. When it comes to the penis and what black man gonna put it in, he don't worry about none of that. He gonna make it happen.
What I'm saying is this: how can any black man or most black men in America even take that type of relationship seriously, given the fact that it's going to be something that potentially ruins their chances for retirement? Let's say you do get to retirement, you saved as much as you can in your 401k. All right, you can't work anymore, and now your partner or your wife has all of these extra healthcare expenses, and you didn't make more than for real $54,000 a year your entire working life.
And,
How are you
and, I,
going to retire in that situation, man?
and I'm gonna say real talk. Dating fat women on a serious level, or being with a fat woman on a serious level, because dating is technically just two people going out. If you're gonna be with a fat woman on a serious level, it does actually cost more. Her clothes are gonna cost more because they're made with more material. She's
Right,
gonna eat more
groceries,
food. There's an actual
healthcare costs.
cost to dealing with them. That's a very
Right,
real thing.
Roger. They see that fat behind, they fat booty, and they don't think about nothing else.
No, no, no. It's the men don't think about nothing else. Ooh, was right that men have to
Yeah,
lead
that's
the
what I'm
charge
saying.
in this.
The men don't think about
Look,
nothing else. They see that booty and they don't think about nothing else. Don't think
here
about that
here's
stomach in the front or nothing. Just that booty and this old shucks.
here's the point I'm making. Right, the woman in the video, the albino woman. You're supposed to look like that when you're 40 years old. You've been married and you don't have 2 or 3 kids. That's when you're supposed to look like that. You
Exactly.
ain't supposed to look like that at 24 years old.
Hmm.
So when you get
Yeah.
when you 24, 25 years old and you strolling down Cicero and you look like that and Roger roll up on you, tell him he lying. Tell him he lying.
Oh,
You ain't got to worry
oh,
about me, bro.
there you go.
Because
Reset. And he already got that Subway sandwich ready for her. He
Come
just
on,
got out the
bro.
window.
hey, yeah, you can crack all the jokes you want, but you can crack all the jokes you want. But if she big, she got to go. It is what it is. It is what it is. She get big, she got to go. I don't
Now
mind.
you know I love
I
you.
don't
You know I
mind
love
a
you,
It's
thick
Roger.
expensive,
woman.
man.
And I'm gonna tell you again, I put that in there just to even show what a thick woman is, because people act like they don't know what it is. That she's not a big girl. She is thick, but she's not big. If she get big, that's a her problem.
Hey, what's the
She
hey,
is
what's the difference?
she is
Hey,
big because she's too young.
Roger, what's the difference between thick and fat for
Thick is
A
any
one.
gender?
lie,
Number one, thick
a
is
lie.
appealing. Thick is actually appealing. Okay, you're sexually attractive when you're thick. You have a bigger butt. You got a bigger chest.
You know what's
You're
the
So it's in
sexually
the
difference?
eye.
You know
attractive.
what's the
It's in the
difference?
eye of the beholder.
This is the
Yeah, that's what he gonna
No,
this
say.
is the difference between thick and fat. It's this simple. This is the difference between thick and fat. A temporary discernible waistline. If she has a waistline, you niggas think she's thick. If she don't have a discernible waistline, you niggas think she's fat.
Exactly.
That's it. If you look at that girl on that video, the albino girl, she for now she has a waistline. For now.
right.
But I predict within the next 3 to 4 years that waistline is going to disappear.
Now, Urup, see you wrong on that
And
note.
that can be
That's
6
rare.
months,
That's rare. You
five, four
wrong on
Nah,
that.
months.
But
nah, he right.
hold on, no, he not.
He
No, he
right.
not. You know why she got a waistline? Because them shorts is tight. You take her out of that, and she gonna look like a
That's a
M&M
good point.
peanut.
But
Yeah,
You
but
might,
women
but
you
women be
might,
listen.
you
showing all
might
kind
have
of
See,
a
shit.
point. You might have
That's
a
a
point.
good point.
You might have a
That's a
point.
good
But
point.
here's the thing.
Uru,
Here's
this
the
is what I
thing,
tell
though.
all my youngins.
At a
You
certain,
gotta see her naked first if
that
you're gonna
that
say she got a body. If you never seen her naked, you don't know
that
what her
that
body
could
look
be
like.
Yeah, exactly. Yep,
that
motherfucker be wanting
that
waist
could
trainers
be
and some more
true.
shit.
That could be true. But once they become fat, you can't create a waistline. Once they
Yeah.
become fat, you cannot create
yeah,
when
it's
they
so.
when once they pass a certain threshold. Once they pass a certain threshold of fatness, ain't no making up no waistline. But you're right. You're definitely right. You could see something very different with them clothes
Man,
off. I agree.
I
the
think with the
the
different
the,
outfits
the,
you put on, I can trust that that particular person is thick, not fat, because that she was shown in the t-shirt and all that.
Listen
I'm
to this
pretty
nigga.
sure
Listen to this
she's
nigga.
not
Boy,
fat.
he wanted to
this nigga.
No,
disrespect. He
Hey,
I'm
wanted to
just
hey,
being,
disrespect.
listen,
I'm
ladies,
real. I wouldn't put her
woo,
up there if I thought she was fat.
ladies,
I wouldn't have put
ladies,
her up there.
listen.
He
La-
wanted to be.
hey, to the ladies that's listening to this podcast right now, the difference is between the lie and the truth. She is still attractive enough for Roger to lie to her.
No, I ain't,
Later
I ain't,
on,
I ain't, I
Hey,
he'll be
ain't,
telling the truth.
I ain't lying to her at all. She is thick. That's not a lie. She
hey,
is.
No, he's lying to himself.
hey,
She's
That's the
thick
lie.
enough
hey,
for him to
That's
lie
the
to
lie.
himself.
Uru, you said 3 to 4 years. I would say maybe 4 to 6 months could be the difference.
All she
Yeah,
got to do is
it
stay in
could
the
go
gym.
quicker. You
Hey, look.
know what would determine how quickly it happens? Her age. If she is, let's say,
Yes.
in her early 20s, it may go slower. But if she's in her mid 20s or beyond, yeah, I agree. It may go much more quickly. I
But
agree.
she does have an option to just go work out. At the end of the day, she could just go work out.
Yo,
It's, it,
She was doing
I'm gonna say this
doing
right.
that when you met her, Roger, but you interrupted the process. See, you came in there, scooped
I ain't
up,
interrupt the
and she thought
process.
she didn't have to work out no more. Yeah, you
Wait,
did. You told us. You
wait,
told us.
reset.
You said when you met her, she was working out, everything
Yeah,
was
she was
cool,
good to go.
right?
Yup. And when
You signaled to her she's where she needs to be. That's what you did.
Wait, reset. Let me tell you something. Roger is the ultimate wingman. I'm telling you. He
Yeah.
gonna take the big one off your plate for you.
no,
Oh wow.
when
Oh
it comes
wow.
down
They
to
get
it,
Oh, you
when it
put him in
comes
that
down to
category.
it,
Oh,
hey, when it comes down to it, if you look good, I'm with you. If you get a little out of pocket, I gotta rotate. It is what it is. I don't even see a problem. She know what she look like. She look in the mirror every day. She know what she look like. And again,
Yep.
beauty is an issue for women in a way that is just not for men. Because men have workarounds. You know what I'm saying? Is there anybody who really want a big woman and you'll accept some type of workaround? Because like I was saying earlier, we'll laugh and joke about a woman being big and money, but do you really perceive, honestly, that a woman can work around being fat? Because to
I told
my
you.
understanding, you really can't.
Now remember I told you yesterday if I don't gotta work, if I ain't gotta wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and all that,
Right.
she could be big.
So she can put you in, basically she can put you in retirement. You'll roll with
If I could live my soft man era,
Bro,
yeah.
men, men will date a big woman if she's paying. And see, this is all. Now, this is the line from the women's side, and I can tell you this from personal experience. Big women pay for their men. They're just not saying it out loud. They pay the rent. They buy you cars. They buy you clothes. They put shoes on your feet and everything. And usually, if you marry one of these women, they're going to allow you to have a mistress because they know what's up.
what
Black
now
women and all.
I do agree with that. A big woman will pay. And back in the day, big women knew to come off as more friendly. more sociable, even funnier, because they had a major deficiency from a beauty standpoint. So that used to definitely be in play on a regular basis. And everybody I know who's kind of been with a big woman, he was definitely getting stuff off of. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
She's definitely got
There
to be
is
able
a
to take
tax
her.
to it. Yeah, there's a
and
definite tax.
Jabba
and
the Hutt,
like
Jabba the Hutt. What happened to Oprah
and
Winfrey?
and
What
like
happened to
and
that?
like Hassan said, you know, some of them can suck start a space shuttle.
But now I'm gonna say this too though. I will hear men state being with a big woman is cool, but again, they don't do this publicly. I know men who've been messing with big women and they got stuff off of them, but there is no public claiming. It just don't happen. They go over her crib, it's
Right.
2, 3 in the morning. There
Yeah.
ain't no dates, ain't no going to the movies, ain't no going to a theater to see anything, ain't no going to an important event, ain't no
Yeah, but
going to no work event. I don't see none of that.
that usually depend on how pretty you are. Because if the nigga is 6'5", whatever, look like, you know, 90s Denzel Washington, maybe. But most of you Negroes, at some point, she gonna try to force y'all into some FaceTime. Let's be real. Let's be all the way real out here.
You got, fellas, you got to deny that FaceTime, because as soon as you allow her to put you on FaceTime, it's an official relationship,
You
and now she
done?
want
You done?
full participation after that. She want full participation.
Yo,
Can't
it's
be
It's
so
doing
over.
that.
It's
it's so
over.
bad in the community. We in the studio one time, and my man told my homie brought up the word fupa, and you know the fupa, that's like the little pouch above the coochie. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, fupa, what the hell is a fupa? They literally had to explain that shit, cause I ain't never messed with nothing like that.
Yeah.
And now you literally have dudes talking about, oh, I like me a girl with a little fupa, and you got women out here talking about, yeah, this little fupa right here do damage. I'm like,
That's
what is
Yeah,
going on
black
here?
men. That's
you know
black
them
men
Negroes.
giving
You know them Negroes
excuses
are doing
to,
FaceTime. You know they doing
yeah.
FaceTime. They
What
gone.
black men are giving those kinds of excuses to black women to let them feel like they're still attractive. That's exact. Back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, it was the muffin top. We used to accept the muffin top. Now it's the fupas. What's next? You got to
Well,
call it like it is.
but I think the thing is, I mean, y'all let me know if y'all see something different. I hear a lot of men say stuff, but again, I don't see them publicly parading around with bigger women. I don't see it.
Because they paying
I see a lot of it.
the
I
big
see a lot
women
of it,
I
Roger.
see
pay.
it, Roger. I
No,
see it.
I see a lot of it.
I
I
see
see a
it. I
lot
see
of it.
it too.
Hey,
I
hold
see a
fast.
lot more of
go
it.
into
Hold fast.
Walmart.
Before you say
Go into
anything,
Walmart.
let me make this
Go
clear.
into
Let me make this clear.
Jewel.
During
Let me
tax season, you see it everywhere, Roger.
hold on. Let me make this
Tax
clear.
season.
I am not talking about some husband who been with his wife for years and she done had 4 kids and
I'm
got
not
big
talking
with
about
them.
Oh
no
no, we're not
husband.
talking
I'm
about
not
No,
that.
we
talking
ain't
about.
talking about.
I'm
We know
not
what
talking
you.
about.
Tax season.
Yeah,
We know
I'm
what you're
talking
saying,
about.
Roger.
Yeah.
I'm not
We know
accusing
what
none
you're
of y'all
saying,
saying.
brother.
I'm just making it. Well, it's a show. I'm just trying to make it clear from an audience
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah, for
I'm not
sure.
talking about some man who got with a woman. They've been together for 30 years and she got a little big on him or whatever, having his babies.
I
I ain't
I
talking about that.
I see a lot of Negro couples where the woman is 50 plus pounds bigger than the man. Now let's stop playing.
Well,
Come
Man,
on, man.
now I'm gonna say this. The reason I'm gonna say I don't see couples like that because I've seen those people. I don't see no hand holding. I don't see none of this stuff.
Roger, you moving the goalpost,
No,
bro.
no, no,
Chill
no.
out. Don't do
Now
that,
there
bro.
you
What?
moving the
Don't
goalpost.
do that, bro.
No, no,
Come on, Roger.
This what
no.
Nah,
I'm
don't do
saying,
that.
bro.
Don't do that to us, man.
Listen, this,
I ain't
Don't do
this,
trying to
that
move.
this,
to us.
I'm not trying to move
wait,
the
wait
goalpost.
a second.
What I
What?
am saying is, I do know that there is men because they've admitted it that they will get stuff off
Roger,
women.
Roger. I usually, Roger, I usually don't like that. You were so full of shit this whole stream.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm
Don't do us
conducting a
like that,
grade show on social media.
Roger.
I'm conducting a grade show on social media. I don't even know what you're talking
You are full of it.
Listen, man, this is what we gonna do, man. What we at? We at 2 minutes and 59 seconds. Whatever time we got left, we gonna get the stream to Uru because Roger out of control today. He been lying to these women for 3 hours. He been lying.
Man,
Yeah,
I do
Roger,
not know
just
what
he done
stop.
a
y'all
lot of
talking about.
lying.
I don't know what y'all
No,
talking about, man. I came here to
Roger, man.
celebrate our beautiful our beautiful big black sisters, and get them some hope if some hope is there for them. That's what I came to do.
Do you see the size of that
No.
woman in your thumbnail right now, Roger?
Man, I was looking. You know what? I ain't gonna even lie to you. I was like, man, I should use a picture of Sherry Shepherd. Then I was like, I should use a picture of Gabrielle Sidibe. Then I was like, let me just go and look up Gabrielle Sidibe, and this what came up first.
She got a
Two big,
whole.
beautiful black women. Two
She
big,
got a
beautiful
whole.
black women.
That's a whole fitted bed sheet right there around her arms.
No. Well, you know, I'm gonna say this. Yeah, we gonna bring it to the end because we are at the 3 hour mark. Now, I didn't see any signs that there was some outrage. I saw a clip. I don't know when it came out. But Gabrielle Sidibe went to some show. She sat on the couch. The couch was made of cake. Now, I've seen videos where people kind of fool people because they'll have somebody make a cake that look exactly like something. But I was like, should black women feel some kind of way about that? You got big old Gabrielle Sidibe coming to a talk show, and she sits on a
Nope.
couch, and the top pillow is actually a piece of cake.
Nah, because it's the same woman who got a statue in New York that's about that's like what's like a 7 foot whatever or a fat overweight black woman, and they say that look like your mother.
You talking about the statue of "You Can't Tell Me Nothing, Boo"? That's what I
Yeah,
got up
yeah,
there.
yeah. So that's literally on point for their brand that they want to push.
And I'm gonna say I would
Yeah.
think that they should give at least a little pushback when you got big old, and I ain't mad at her for being fat. I mean, she ain't my wife, so I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really my problem. It's her husband's problem at the end of the day. But I was just like, man, when I first seen that, with all the stuff that people say, and then I personally believe too, the white power structure does do a lot to embarrass black women. Sometimes it's kind of on the slide, sometimes not so much on the slide. When you have a big woman sit on a piece of cake and laugh at it because it's a joke, that to me, that's not even being nice. But I guess because there's
You
white men
know that
involved,
What do you?
ain't no
that's
complaint.
like basically, that's like back 100 or so years ago. They put a bearded woman or something in the cage, and they make fun of the bearded woman. That's what they were doing.
Yeah,
Or
makes
some
sense.
black people, and they say, this is a monkey or human monkey kind of thing. That's what they're doing. And the food now ironically, if you go back a couple of generations, black women would know better, and they wouldn't be anywhere near doing some shit like that. So that's just an example of how far we've fallen culturally. The
Yeah.
Felicia Rashad generation wouldn't be anywhere near doing some shit like that.
Well, I'm just gonna say, for all the pushback they give men for just even having a conversation about women being fat, and I didn't see no pushback. I mean, well, she didn't push back at all. I'm gonna go look at video and look at the comment section again. To me, like the fact that I didn't really see no outrage when I looked at it, I'll just say I ain't noticed any outrage. Wasn't looking for it, but it was just I was kind of disappointed in her that she would sit on a piece of cake and then just kind of laugh it off. Because at the end of the day, you know how big you is. That's not that I wouldn't take that as funny if I was her size. Real talk. And I'm famous. You know what I'm saying? Like you is a somebody out here. She is a somebody. That just don't look right. And then
She's a
the
big
way
somebody.
Well,
I mean, it should be somebody.
I kind of look at that. I kind of look at that like I look at Tay Diggs wearing a dress recently. That's how I look at that.
Oh Lord have mercy, Tay. They
Oh,
done
bro, I
got
Them
saw
you.
that
people,
shit yesterday.
them,
They
them,
done got you, Tay.
them people, them people gonna have y'all to be in their business. Them people gonna have y'all doing stuff like that.
Yeah. Remember they had Tay Diggs in a romper. He was wearing his girlfriend's romper one time.
Lord have mercy. You know what? Yeah, we gonna close this show out. Lord have mercy, Tay. I mean, I don't know, man. Talk to your people
I
before
mean,
you go
most
say. I don't know what to even say on this one, yo. They done got you like this. All right, good luck, brother. I hope it's worth it, man. If you doing all that, man, that's all I can say. I hope it's worth it because you done did it already. So,
You
y'all,
bet.
we've been.
You better win an Oscar. You better win an Oscar in the next couple of years
I'm saying,
if you're gonna let yourself get put out there like that.
yeah, at least that'll give you some good money on films. You know, being an Oscar winner does matter on the money side. All right, who does anyone want to make a closing statement in this particular show? Does anyone want to make a closing statement?
I got one. I got
yeah, I'm
one.
gonna make
I
one.
got one.
I'm tired of Roger lying. He been lying for 3 hours. He won't tell y'all the truth. Y'all listen. If you ain't in shape, you fat. If a black man tells you you thick, you report to the nearest gym. Get away from that nigga. He is lying to you. This is the truth. 140, you start paying for dates. Stay under 140, ladies. Stay under 140.
I'm glad we got the head out the way first. Okay, Shark saying something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, ladies, if you don't have a flat stomach, you fat. Point blank.
Oh, I agree with that.
And I
Okay.
end it right there.
All right.
If your,
Usual business. Go ahead.
if your stomach stick out more than your booty do, you got to go, baby girl. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna let that be my ending statement. If your booty stick out more than your stomach do, you got to go.
All right. Now, Mr. Me Too just came up. You came for the after show. You ran up here to get a closing statement in.
I'm here for the after show, fellas.
Okay. Just want to be anybody
Well,
else?
I guess I'll do a closing statement. Man, I was serious about my experience with big girls, and I come to realize I can't really take no big girl serious as for my wife, just simply because I know I'm gonna love my wife, and I know I wouldn't want to make that decision and choose to watch her die or to die with her. And I guess I am.
Hey, man, I do believe that was a very, very powerful point, real talk. And if I was to ever consider being with a big woman, I think that's what's going to play in my head. Rogers, you can't save her. You won't die? And I know me, I ain't going to want to die, so I'm going to stay away from that one.
Yes,
Anybody
sir.
else want to make a closing statement before we get up out of here today? All right, then I'm going to say as a closing statement, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. We do this at 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. Okay? We do this every day of the year. That's a Monday through Friday, but the 6 national holidays. Those are the only days we miss. Other than that, you might as well subscribe to the best show on social media. Well, we're going to talk about stuff that other folks even scared to sometimes. And tomorrow's show going to be kind of a doozy too. I believe tomorrow's show might just make a doozy if y'all pick up what I'm putting down. But I will see y'all then. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.